Hello there, fellow collectors. Welcome back for another episode of the Collector Tour, episode 20 already. I guess I keep saying already. It hasn't been like, I don't know. It's been kind of a long time. I don't do this show like every single week, but I feel like 20 still a pretty big number. But I'm here with a loyal gifted channel member. My dude has gotten gifted channel memberships twice in a row. But I'm here with Jose, aka Jose Plus, aka Jose G Hernandez on the channel membership list. But bro, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know we've kind of been throwing little jabs back and forth of you saying, oh yeah, when are you getting me on the Collector Tour? So yeah, happy to have you on, bro. How are you doing on this fine Monday night?
It's Monday, so it's and then yesterday I spent the whole day at Universal. It was my niece's birthday, so I spent the whole day at Universal from the morning all the way to basically where they closed. So I was exhausted. I was supposed to have Mondays off. I usually have Mondays off, but they called me in the morning like, can you please come? I'm a substitute teacher, so they needed someone got sick, so I was at work. So yeah, but it's Monday, the start of the week, and got to push through it, right?
Yep 100%, no doubt. Yeah, I had a busy day. I always have a busy Monday, and then I'm like, usually when the show comes, like when I get home, I'm like, damn, like I work long day. Like I work 6:30 to 5 Monday through Thursday. So I work like 10-hour days, but I get home and I'm like, dang, just gotta like build up the energy for the show. But then once I get going, then I start like getting hyped up. So yeah, always. And Monday's like a good night. It's just a good night to stream. I feel like
yeah, absolutely. I think so, because people are coming off that Monday, work day, kind of going back from the weekend, and they kind of just want to get home and relax, and why not put on a stream?
Yep.
I know I do it, so.
Yeah. But yeah, man, really excited to have you on. We got the questions to start getting to, but before we do that, let's address the chat. It's so weird not seeing you in the chat. You're here.
I know.
You're live.
I'm right here.
Yeah, but happy to have you on, bro. Let's get to the chat. We got the Jedi Knights watching. Hello to all the beautiful people in YouTube land. What's up, Graham? Thank you for tuning in and being the first comment here on the list. A loyal channel member to the Evil Empire. We got Brad Cormack, another channel member, saying hello to all with the Obi-Wan emoji. I try to make my emojis fun. I spent a lot of time. I just want to say that, like, for my channel membership, like, I spent a lot of time and I was like bouncing ideas off people, and like I had to go in Photoshop and like make all the emojis and take the backgrounds out, and like I really wanted to do something fun. So I hope you guys are enjoying those.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. Hopefully, they're fun to use. But Action in the Box is here. Another channel member says, hello collectors. What's up, Ricardo? All the way from Brazil. It's got to be, I always forget how late it is. I think there's a 5 or 6 hour time difference. He'll end up telling me probably in the chat, but good to see you, Ricardo. Thank you for stopping in to the stream. We got How You Figure, aka Justin, saying hi. Hello, Justin.
Hello.
And then down low, he's hitting the strength emoji. Let's go. We got Nick's Collectibles in the house saying sup, y'all. What is up, Nick? Thank you for being here, bro. Always good seeing you.
I want my title shot.
Well. He wants his title shot. Give this man his title shot. He was second in the Rumble. You gotta. He's next in line, bro. Next in line. And then me after that. My boy Cage is in here. Another channel member says evening everyone with the more emoji. Yeah, what's up, Cage? Thank you for being here, bro. Thrawn's Office, aka formerly known as Mike Pause Literus, is in the house saying hello to the people. Another channel member. I'm sorry I can't catch this one live, but I will enjoy the replay. Thank you so much, T.O.
Thank you for coming.
Office. Yes. Thank you for stopping in and saying that, and thank you for catching the replay later on. I'm thanking you now. We got Danny Spotchka in the house blasting those emojis. What's up, Spotchka? Thank you so much for tuning in, bro.
Danny.
We got Darth Tamaris, a gifted channel member, says, what is up? I'm here. What's up, bro? Always good to see you in here and getting your comments in the chat, man. Thank you so much for being here. We got Christian Cooper saying, what's up, Steve and everyone? Christian, I know I just saw one of his pictures posted inside of Rise of the Resistance, because the dude goes to Galaxy's Edge all the time. So yes, very cool. I went last June. It was awesome. Great place.
Like I was telling you, I live about 15 minutes away, so I had an annual pass. I let it expire though, but I had an annual pass. Oh, I live in Orange County, so
gotcha. Okay,
it's like right by Anaheim. So
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I went to Disney World because I live in Wisconsin, but I live in Wisconsin, so going to Florida, and I have family down there, who live 45 minutes from Orlando, so we went and stayed with them and went. But yeah, Galaxy's Edge, I miss it. I want to go back. Graham hitting those emojis. Daniel Brancato, another channel member in the house, says hello everyone. What is up, Daniel? Thanks for being here as always. Love the logo. Star Wars, baby, let's go. One Adam 12, want to give him a shout out because he is the newest member of the Evil Empire who joined up. So thank you so much, bro, for joining up on the Evil Empire. And he says happy 20th anniversary to the Collector Tour. 20th episode, can't believe it.
20.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Ricardo saying 20. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, 20th show anniversary. We got the TCT emojis going. My dog thought I heard my dog running around. I don't know where he is. Must be upstairs. Let's see here. We got Eclectic Collector in the house saying hello everyone. What is up, Eclectic Collector? Thank you for being here. We got Elizabeth Calleros saying hi, Jose. Who is this, Jose?
That's the girlfriend.
Did I say her last name right?
You said it right. Yeah, man.
Calleros.
That was
okay.
Yeah.
I did pretty well in like my high school. That's one language I wish I would have kept, learning to speak is Spanish. Like I was actually pretty good in high school, and then I actually took it like a little bit in college, and I probably at this point not as good as I once was, but
well, if you had a little bit of background in it, maybe you could pick it up. I mean, it's always harder when you're older, but I feel like you still could if you wanted to.
Yeah. I need to maybe consider.
I mean, I don't know how much you'd use it in Wisconsin, but
probably not too much. Like, yeah. But Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here. I know Jose's happy you're here.
Yeah.
The Chat Nice Watch says, I'm loyal to whoever values loyalty the most. Dwight from The Office. We got 1/6 Star Wars Pimpazoid in the house saying, I'm thinking of picking up DX07. Is it too outdated or still worth picking up? Ooh, good question. Do you want to talk about this? The Luke Bespin
Is it the
Luke?
Yeah, the 2-pack, right?
Yeah.
Did they sell that as a single, or was it always just a 2-pack?
Always two.
It was always
I
two?
believe. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, if you look at comparisons, if you look at the reviews, I think there was some reviews where people were comparing the DX07 with the new release of the Bespin Luke. If you look at those reviews and you're satisfied with the likeness, which is outdated, but it's still pretty good, if you're okay with that, then and you can get a deal, then why not? I think like we'll talk about it a little bit more, but right now buyer's market, right? So if you can find a great deal, a lot of people are selling things really, really cheap. So.
Yeah, it's been like, that 2-pack has just kept dropping in price ever since that newest one came out. It's a cool set. I've thought about picking it up. Like the accessories are really cool for it too. You can't really get them otherwise. So I feel like it's still worth picking up if you want the accessories and you still like care about having maybe the 2-pack of figures. But I have the new one. I really like the new one. It just depends on what you're interested in. I don't think it's necessarily like not worth picking up if you have any interest in it. I feel like it's an older figure, but still would be a cool one to have. It's on my list. So 1/6 Star Wars Pimzoid, thank you so much for tuning into the stream, man. Good to see you. I've seen your name before in some other streams, so really happy to have you here. Ricardo says 10 p.m. now in Brazil. Okay, not too late. Nick is laughing. Funky Cold Sand is now. Yeah, title shot, exactly. Funky Cold Sand is in the house. What's up, bro? Says hello, people. What's up?
Hey,
we got gifted channel member Tighter FL in the house saying, yo, what is up, bro? Thank you so much for being here as always. Christian Cooper says, just got on the bus, headed back, watching your stream. Oh, dope, bro. Thank you so much. What a great show to watch on the way back on the bus. I love this name, Anakin Daywalker Que Pasa. Do you know this person, Jose?
I don't, but
I've seen this name before in the I didn't know if it was somebody like when you put out let your people know you're to potentially come watch the show that this was you. But I've seen this name before. I love this name, Anakin Daywalker. What's up, bro? Thank you for tuning into the show. That's great name. Christian says, saw Clone Trooper face 2 helmet and almost pulled the trigger. Didn't want another rabbit hole to go down. Yeah, helmets are scary.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I got a couple myself, and yeah, they're cool. Fun to collect, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole either, so we can do it together.
That's one thing we'll talk about too with me.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. 1Adam12 says DX07's awesome. It's worth it just for the battle damage Luke to hang from the Bespin antenna.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, the antenna is really cool. Really cool set. So thank you all for being here. Tons of channel members in the chat as always. We've got 32 channel members now. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's, I think, 10 gifted channel members, and then yeah, it's crazy, 22 other channel members. So didn't really think it would ever explode to that level, but appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much, yeah, for being members of the Evil Empire. And if you want to join, there's a link posted in the description below, and always pinned it. I always pin it in the chat if you're interested in joining the ranks. I still need a channel member name. Jose, maybe you can help me with that or brainstorm a little bit. But
I thought we had decided sneakerheads. It's got to be sneakerheads.
I think sneakerheads is cool, but I don't want people to get like confused with shoes. You know,
I tease you. When are we going to talk about sneakers?
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. That's what you said to me first. I'm like, this is what gets confusing. Yeah. When are we going to talk about shoes? I used to be a sneakerhead, believe it or not. I used to actually collect like J's and stuff, but I ended up getting out of it. That's
also a rabbit hole.
Also a rabbit hole. Aaron Collects is in the house. MSL fam, great special guest. Soon he will be banned though.
Me and Aaron tease each other about that because he says he's a Bucks fan even though he lives in New York.
Oh yeah, bro, go Bucks. Let's go. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm a Laker fan. So.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Cage says the channel members should be called Lando lovers. Wow, dude.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Wow. That's funny. I still need to. I have one more emoji slot. I did say I was gonna make a Lando emoji. I gotta get on that. I gotta make one. Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna be, but gotta make it. Before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out. I don't want to take up too much more time before we get going, but just want to give a shout out to Underground Figures. As always, you guys can go check them out. Great company that I'm partnered with, but they're based out of Rhode Island. You get double box shipping free of charge. You get 5% off MSRP. A lot of times you don't have to pay tax. It's really just great company, and they have some sales right now. There's 15% off of all of the Hot Toys MMS 300s, 400s, and 500s. So some older figures, if you're looking for those, 15% off retail price on the website. But go check them out. It's really nice. If you don't like paying an NRD, I do not like paying an NRD. You can do no NRD pre-orders, which is that's for that fact alone. I just really like using their company. So yeah, you don't have to pay an NRD if you make an email on their website. Then you just email in your order, and then yeah, you have your pre-order secured, and you don't get invoiced until it's ready to ship. So go check them out. Like I said, there's a sale. Yeah, you can always mention that I sent you. That's always nice. Jose,
I did that. Yeah. I reached out to. I did. Yeah. I had been wanting to order the yellow and red Daredevil suit for a while.
Oh, dope.
And I was like, I'll order it. Yeah. I was like, the Daredevil suit. I was like, I want to order it, but where do I order it? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't want to overpay, And I was like, and then I was like, you know what? I had been telling you, I was like, I want to do a order with Underground. Yeah. So I was like, so I just reached out, sent them an email, let them know. I was like, and then right away. And then like the no NRD thing. Question for you.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do that because I do like that Daredevil, especially because I love the comic where you see Daredevil with Spider-Man and he's got the yellow and red. I don't know if you've ever seen that comic, but that's probably why I want him. Not so much because I like the show, but more because of the comic. But question for you. Let's say like you put in the order, no NRD. So isn't that kind of a lose-lose for him? Like, does he, like, let's say someone backs out?
Yeah, it's a good question. So usually like it's like a privileged based system. So I think on his website, I want to say like, I think on his website, it says for all the orders that you place, if you cancel like over 25% of your orders that are no NRD, then you could potentially lose the privilege to do that. Oh, so it's basically like an honor system that you're not going to cancel. Granted, like every once in a while things happen. I think he understands that where, like I've placed a lot of orders, a ton of orders, but I've had a couple things that I ended up canceling. It's okay. You want to try to avoid it. I try to avoid it if at all possible. So you should really make sure that you want to do it because then it kind of just leaves him with stock, for people. So that's a good question. So it's nice, but just don't abuse it. I think that's the main thing.
That's really appreciated from a collecting standpoint, because again, things happen, or maybe you overdo it. You put too many pre-orders, and you're kind of like looking at it, and you're like, you know what, maybe I don't want those figures. And so it's cool that you can go and be like, hey, can we work something out? Maybe talk to them on a personal level and be like, hey, you know, I want to cut maybe 2, 3, or 4, whatever it is from the pre-order list, but I'm still keeping all these with you. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I know some people are like, hey, maybe I don't want this figure anymore. I'm going to pre-order this instead from you. So I know some people I've talked to who have done that. But I think too, like, he's been in business since I think like 1999. So I think like this policy has been pretty long standing, to the point where he's never had to stop it, and he's never really had enough issues really where it's become a problem for him to say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. So I feel like that probably says something about the customers he's getting to, where they're probably sticking to the policy relatively well. But yeah, that's a good question. Good question. Don't abuse the policy. Anybody. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations on your first order. Usually I tell people like, also it's nice because like I usually tell people on the West Coast, like if you're gonna order, if you order through him direct, like even if you want to pick something up later down the line, like you can always email him and just say like, hey, can you give me a shipping quote? Because you're in California, so he'll be able to give you a more accurate shipping quote. Like if you email him, should be able to give you like a really good rate like through email. So I always tell people that the total price ends up coming out to be like whatever Sideshow's like listed prices before you pay tax and shipping. That's about what you end up paying.
That's always helpful. I tend to order from Sideshow because they're nearby. And lately, some of the guys, I have so many nicknames, and we'll go into that later, but one of the guys was, I forget, I think Will Foxification was telling me something about how like, because I tend to get figures really, really early, like kind of like day one sometimes from Sideshow, because I live so close to the headquarters of Sideshow that I'll get it. And like, it's before even Justin's done a review, or any of the big YouTubers have done any reviews. I already have it. Like that happened with Carnage, the new Daredevil, the new Darth Vader. I got it like super quick. And so there's been a few that I've gotten super fast. So I tend to order with them. But the killer thing is, like you said, the shipping and the tax. That's the killer part. And then sometimes the shipping is like $20. And like I said, I live like an hour away. So it's like, why is it $20?
Yeah. It's probably going to be cheap. It's interesting too, because Underground gets their stuff from Sideshow, but it's nice. Like if you're like, I don't need it day one and you want to save a little bit of money, you get it. And it's funny because they're going to ship it from California to Rhode Island, and then he's going to double box ship it back to you. But the shipping's probably going to be cheaper overall for you. So it's interesting how that works out. But that's cool, man. That's funny. That's got to be that's a nice perk of like living so close that you just get it relatively quick.
And you know what? When I first started collecting, I actually ordered from Big Bad Toy Store, which is in that, I think in your area, right? Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah, they're like they're in, I think like they're on like the edge of Wisconsin, and I think another, I forget exactly where in the state where the line is, but yeah, they're like 4-ish hours from me, I think. So they're quite a ways away, but they're in the state.
And but I had no idea. It's just I used to do 12 scale. We'll get into it more, and so I started seeing Hot Toys, so I started ordering from them. I didn't know about Sideshow. I didn't know this distinction, and so anyways, we'll get into it.
Yep. Big Bad Toy Store. I used to get 12 scale from them as well, by the case packs.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get to a couple more chats. We got How You Figure with the 199 super chat saying the evil shoelaces. Oh wow!
For the nicknames, maybe.
Yeah, the evil shoelaces. Okay,
There's
Justin.
something to think about shoes, though.
Justin, you can do better than this, bro. You can do better than this name. But thank you so much for your generosity and $1.99 super chat, man. Always appreciate your support of the channel. So thank you very much. I don't know if I like the evil shoelaces or not, though. He knows I'm just giving him shit, but. Austin Nicholas is in the house. A gifted channel member says Jose, and he is. I think those are clapping hands.
Yeah, Austin's a great guy. He sent me a Buffy the Vampire Slayer figure, a retro figure that it shows its age for sure. But he sent it to me just because he's like we got to talking one day about the show and how we both love horror. So we got into the conversation. He's like, let me just send it to you. He just sent it to me. I was like, okay. This is a cool guy. Like that guy.
Such a cool dude. Austin, you are so generous, man. But thank you so much for tuning in Darth Tomorrow says, waiting on that Padme email sneaker. Me too, bro. Can't wait to get the Padme from Underground. I have a lot of stuff I'm waiting on. Oh, lucky. I have a lot of stuff I'm waiting on right now, and I'm okay waiting. I'm always okay waiting. It's weird because sometimes he'll get Sideshow stuff really quick. Like Sideshow releases it, he'll say like, I'll get an email a couple days later. Hey, we're gonna expect an invoice in a week because I'm gonna be getting it. Like he's already getting his pallet shipped, but or whatever his allotment shipped. My dog's doing zoomies in the background.
I saw.
Doing zoomies in the background, then he'll just lay down and get tired. But yeah, so I'm okay with waiting. But yeah, I have like Padme, Vader, C-3PO. Hopefully my Batman ships because just stuck in literally on a boat right now and at the port. So yep. So hopefully very soon. But I'm okay with waiting. It's just hopefully Padme, 3PO, Vader don't take too much more time. But yeah, Anakin Daywalker says try being in Canada. Yeah, that's
wow.
Rough.
Yeah.
That's rough. We shouldn't even be complaining.
No, I know. I hear Ben complaining. Usually I'm always streaming with Ben on Sundays. And he talks about it a lot. And then those prices, when it gets to him, I was just like, oh man, I'm glad I live like an hour away because I don't think I could do it if I was.
Yeah, it'd be hard to be like an international, and like try to get stuff from Sideshow. It's tough out there for those folks. But How You Figure says, yeah, that wasn't my best material. It's okay, bro. I'll leave. I get it. You can't leave. You're a channel member. You can't go anywhere.
Stay. We need you.
Stay. Let's see here. Yeah, Jedi Knights watches Vader's going to take forever. Yeah, it's like another Batman situation right now.
Yeah.
He's bad. It seems like everything after Chinese New Year has just been really slow. Everything's been slow. So we'll see. Austin says, you always got to give when you can.
Yeah.
Thanks. Claps and love. Thank you, Austin. Yeah, Brad says he's waiting for Padme too from Underground. Padme is like,
she's
popular.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and she's popular. She's sold out. She's like, she's selling like hotcakes everywhere. You can't really, it's tough to find her. All the outlets that I know of, they're pretty much like the majority of them are gone. So exciting. I'm happy for that figure. And then once Anakin comes out, probably gonna elevate it even more, right? So yeah, I'll be excited to get that one. Austin says, went to a good home. She was just sitting in my closet and not being appreciated.
Thank you, Austin. Yeah.
How I Figure says, good to see Jose on the stream. Padme was tough to get, man. Yeah. Okay, chat. Thank you. I can't keep up. We're already 26 minutes in the show. I haven't even got to the first question. So let's get to the first question here. Jose, are you ready to?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. I usually start off first question the same for everybody. Can you recall the moment that you knew you were going to be a collector? It doesn't have to be necessarily 6 scale. It doesn't have to be really anything at all, but just kind of maybe, what comes to mind with this question here?
You know what? I don't think I recall the exact moment. I just there's flashes that I remember, in particular with my childhood. A lot of playing Sega Genesis with my brother. My brother had a lot of cool stuff, that they would buy for him, and then they kind of went down to me. Like I had like this Kenner 1995 Batmobile from Batman Forever, right? And came with the figure, it lit up, things like that. So I still have it. It's on top of the detox. It's all beat up now,
awesome.
But I still have it. And so things like that, that I remember. And I still am a big wrestling fan. So collecting the figures, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, like the figures that I remember going to Toys R Us with my dad. My dad used to almost always take me to Toys R Us, and I'd pick something out. Like I used to have Goldberg. There was this Goldberg and Hulk Hogan 2-pack that they had like this metallic, magnetic. Magnetic, like little things where basically they would hit each other
and they would clash together.
Yeah. I had one of those. So that's kind of like where I remember the most, picking up wrestling figures and Power Rangers. So Power Rangers were big for me. In particular, the Red Ranger was my favorite. So I used to always buy anything that was Red Ranger related. So that's kind of where it started. And then kind of once I grew up, I kind of fell out of it slightly. But I think what kind of pulled me is like by the time I was like in high school, I was like, oh, I'm the cool kid, or yada yada. I wasn't so much collecting, but what really got me was comics. So I was reading comic books. looking at comic art, stuff like that. And I think that slowly, like the new movies that were coming out, like when I was in high school, was like when The Dark Knight came out. So,
Nice. Yeah.
so that's like the new movies, and that's kind of what started pushing me, not only for like what I ultimately chose as my career path, but also collecting. So,
Yeah, very cool, man. I remember Toys R Us. I love that place. Oh, I was sad to see it go. I
know.
can vividly remember, like I vividly remember the store layout. It's so weird, like what the entrance looked like and where like different sections were in the store in my town is really, really weird. I didn't know you were like, I knew like we talked about OSW and stuff. I didn't know you were an actual wrestling fan though.
Yeah,
Yeah. SmackDown is coming to Milwaukee Friday.
Oh,
I don't have like,
I'm
considering. I'm in process of talking to a friend about it, so we'll see. Because like tickets usually
it's
are
pretty
never
hot.
that expensive, but right now like they kind of are if you depending on what seats you get. So I'm kind of looking at the prices, considering going on Friday because yeah, that's like 25 minutes from my house, Fiserv Forum. So we'll see because you know the Rock and Roman Reigns are going to be there, so it's going to be it's probably going to be
because of that.
Yeah, it's probably going to be sold out. Is my guess, but just for that. But you know, you can always get resale tickets, and they're not. SmackDown's never that expensive, so would be cool to go to that before WrestleMania in a couple weeks. But yeah,
I was at WrestleMania last year, so the one that in LA.
Oh my god, dude! Don't tell me that.
Yeah, yeah.
So Cage in the chat, he says, "My man, I knew I liked this guy." We do like for the majority of the live events, we do watch parties like for all the what used to be known as pay-per-views. So yeah, we do like watch parties. We like
really
we do like a Zoom call, and then because he lives in Michigan, so we do a Zoom call and we watch the live events together.
Yeah. That's cool,
dude,
man.
I'm so
that's
jealous,
why I wore
man.
my Hardy Boy shirt.
Oh, dude, I didn't even notice you had that shirt on, bro. They're my favorite.
Yeah,
they're my
Love
favorite
those
growing
guys.
up. Best tag team, favorite tag team, bro. Oh my gosh, go on about. See, I told you backstage, bro. I sometimes just go off on tangents once you start talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
Did you go to night one? Yeah, KJS, did you go to night 1 or 2?
I went to night 2. I wanted to go to night 1, but I went to WrestleCon in the morning on Sunday. They had a WrestleCon. Cool. I met Mercedes or Sasha Banks and a few others.
Nice.
And then after that, we drove. Oh, Elizabeth was with me, and then we drove to WrestleMania night 2. So I wanted to go to both of them, and I should probably like reflecting on it now. I was like, maybe I should have gone and done it, but I don't know. I felt like night 2 would be way better, but then ultimately it looked like both nights were great. So
yeah, they were really good.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Also, it's probably like the good thing is about where you live is like it's probably gonna come back. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna come back into that area where you're gonna be able to probably go at some point again. For me in Wisconsin, like really the closest thing of anything happening is Chicago. So like Star Wars Celebration Chicago was here in 2019, and I went. I don't know if it'll ever come back to Chicago or not. We'll see. But yeah, that's crazy. Very cool, man. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? I thought you were gonna say something.
No. That just it was cool. A fun experience. I mean, everybody was pissed about what happened, but
oh yeah. So we were like
Roman and all that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember Cage and I were talking about it, and we were just like, we were shocked. Like at the end, like what? They bring him back to lose, and like it was wild. So we'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm not convinced that like this WrestleMania in a couple weeks, or like I guess in a few weeks, I'm still not convinced that Roman is potentially like gonna lose. I won't believe it.
I think it's because they want him to. They want him to break Hogan's record. I think. Yeah. And because of that, I think that he might retain. But then it's just like if he retains, what does that do for Cody and the whole finish my story thing? So
yeah, very interesting. Cage says he's a Cody crybaby. Oh my gosh, yeah. We got the movie canon in the house. Another channel member says, "Hello, collectors. Hope you're having a great Monday night, dude. Great Monday night so far. Got the stream going. Talking about wrestling. Talking about figures. Let's go." Stacy's in the house. Says, "Hey, collectors. What's up, Stacy? AKA Jedi291. Hope your Monday is going well. You too, Stacy. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always good to see you. And I love the logo. Looks like the Battlefront logo." Yeah. 16 Star Wars Pimzoid says, "I just got hit with invoices from Sideshow for 4 super battle droids, Padme, Darth Vader, and Commander Fox all within 2 weeks. Damn, Pimp."
Yeah, sometimes you're in that drought and you're like,
Yeah.
I need something. And we'll talk about this
Oh
when,
yeah.
when I'm giving you advice
Oh yeah.
about what to do. But you're in that drought, and then out of nowhere, invoice. That's happened to me like twice in the past year.
Good,
And
dude.
it's just like, whoa. I was
I
like,
need some advice on that because I get bored. I was just talking about this with like the Wolfpack guys. Like, it's really hard. You get bored for like a couple weeks, and then you're like, I'm kind of holding strong right now, pretty much.
I got some advice. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Next question here. Can you tell a story of one of your most memorable collecting moments?
Gosh. So I wrote a few things down. Let's see. Most memorable collecting moments. Okay, so all right, let's see. I mean, obviously, the fact that I've been able to be streaming with you guys, it's not something I ever imagined, to be honest. Like, I
Yeah, me
I would be
neither.
watching, but I never was like, I could never really see myself. Like, I was like, I'll meet up with them and say hello and tell them that I'm a fan of their channels and things like that. But I never thought I'd be streaming. That's not something I ever really visualized myself doing, because I tend to be laid back and not really, I kind of keep to myself, and like when I'm at work, I don't like to be the person that's like going above and beyond, but I don't want to be the guy that just slacks off either. I'm kind of the one in the middle where it's like he does his job and he comes in, clocks out, does his job, and then someone asks about me, they'll say, oh yeah, he's a good worker, I like him, you know what I mean? But they won't really elaborate, because that's just me, that's my style. I don't really like to stand out, and so that's not really been oh, actually, I'm reading. We got more suggestions. The Evil Empire. But that's the name of the.
Yeah, that's the name of the channel membership.
Yeah, the membership.
But we need like
individuals.
Like troopers.
Yeah.
Somebody says
but we
sneaky
got
troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I got distracted reading the comment. But like I said, so like I said, I nenever really visualized myself doing that. So being able to jump on streams with guys that I used to watch all the time, like Marco from 16 Figs and all these guys, and Mario, El Profesor, like Leao, like all these guys, that I was like, I would watch weekly. Like I said, we were talking backstage, like you kind of feel like these people, right? So like when you jump on, it's just like, oh wow, and you kind of have like this moment where you kind of like, whoa, it's like you have like a fan experience in a way, which is interesting. Now I talk to them like I talk to Marco like every day, you know what I mean? So like we're buddies, but it's funny because you kind of start off that way. So I would say that's kind of one of the most memorable things, and obviously meeting up with them. A bunch of the guys when they went to San Diego Comic-Con, I got to meet John from InArt, and I met and I hung out with them, and me and John from InArt shared a soda. You know what I mean? Funny. It was cool. It's funny because I have a couple Queen Studio merch from when I went to the Vegas event. That's another thing I can add to this list. I went to the InArt event in Vegas. I was there, but this is before I did anything with YouTube. So I saw Riley there. I saw Justin, a few other people there, and I talked to them and I met them. But this is before I did anything with YouTube. I was just going there as a fan. So it's funny that now it's like I talk to them all the regular. So
yeah, it's very cool. I always like I think this was brought up. I think it was when we were talking about it, I think on Wolfpack Wednesday last week, and I was like, dang, it's crazy. Like if I wouldn't have started like if I wouldn't have changed from 12 scale to 6 scale, but then the other thing is like if I would have never gotten YouTube, I just wouldn't have any of the friends I have now. It's just crazy to think about, because I think of how many friends I made in the past, I guess since September 2023. It's been like, I don't know, what is that? 6 months, kind of. I think since like I've kind of been, I think that's when I posted like, or maybe June. Maybe June is when I posted my first collection tour video. I think maybe it was June. I don't know. I can't remember now at this point, but it might have been June, and then I think maybe my second one was in September. But anyways, however many, June, July, like 9 months ish. Of all the people that I met, like if I never would have started a YouTube channel or anything, I never would know any of these people. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah. It's a lot of good people in the community, and it's why it's really wild to think about. Because I talk to people now just every day, so many different people. I can't keep up. I almost can't keep up because I talk to so many like my new friends now. So,
do you ever wonder, like, if you weren't a collector, like what would you be doing? You know what I mean? Like, would you still
do.
be collecting something else? It's like, or who would you be talking to? Like, who would you spend all your time with, talking
Yep.
to? You know, or what videos would you be watching on YouTube instead of the reviews? Like, would you be
Yeah.
watching something else? Like,
Yeah.
I wonder about that sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know what exactly. Like I've always collected something too, so I don't know. I don't know what I'd be doing. Yeah. Great question.
It's interesting.
Food for thought. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure. Tighter says, "Gotcha, my bad. It's all good, dude. It's all good." Yeah, I'm trying to think. I ask this like every week, and I just cannot come up with a good name for the channel members. Like a, like a specific name, like troopers or, like generals or whatever, just something. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I'm still thinking on it. We'll get it. We'll get there. It's evolving. It's evolving over time. I'll just keep asking, keep thinking about it. But
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Sneakerheads, man. That's what I'm saying. Sneakerheads. Just do it.
Just
commit, man.
Like, so it's really fun. It's really funny when I first started YouTube. Like that's what my wife said. She was like, "You should just call like the people who follow you sneakerheads." And I was like, "Yeah, that's like cool, but I don't want people to get confused with shoes." But I don't know, maybe.
But it's like if they're on your channel, they know what your channel's about. It's not like gonna be like, "Hey, man, when are we gonna talk about the Air Jordan that just released last month?
Yeah,
are we gonna talk about it?" Like,
Making a good point. We're gonna see. It's a big decision. Ooh, Tighter says sneakerheads is a cool name.
Yeah. Jabronis.
The jabronis. Nick says I'm visiting Dallas next month. May see Joey.
Yeah,
Ooh, nice,
that'd be
nice.
cool. Yeah, Joey's a cool guy. We talk a lot, ever since he brought me on. And it's funny because when he brought me on Copper Drop a few months ago, I told him that it felt really full circle going back to one of these memorable moments. It's like, because when the first time I streamed, it's kind of like I kind of owe it all to Marco, because I reached out to Marco as a friend. I mean, just as a fan first, and he kind of just started talking to me as a friend. Like we were just buddies, and he like would ask me questions, because sometimes I feel like, I always felt like sometimes if you reach out to like a, Instagram person or personality or YouTuber, like you might get like a response back, but it's very like, oh, like I'm above you. And I never got any of that from, at least from the people that I've spoken to or become friends with, it was very much like at first they're like, well, I don't really know who you are, so I'll answer you, but respectfully in a nice way. But Marco was very like so casual that we just started talking like we were buddies, and like we knew each other, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, Marco's a cool dude. I really enjoyed having him on the show. And then I had Ben on the show who also said the same thing. Like Marco brought me on his show, and man, you guys are hyping Marco up.
but going back to the Joey moment,
show.
going back to the Joey moment. Lost my thought there, but Marco, don't get too excited that we're hyping you up. I'm gonna bring you down later. Don't worry. If you're watching this on the replay, don't worry. But it's funny because he brought me on one of the episodes of LWO, I believe, and Joey was on the show. So the first time I streamed with Joey, and I didn't really know him, but I streamed with him for the first time. So when he finally asked me to be on his show, I was like, oh man, it's kind of like full circle. I'm actually on his show as a guest when we streamed together on my first time. So
dang, that's really cool. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Very cool. Good. It's just awesome. Kind of the community is what you make of it, and it's just it's crazy to think about not having friends if you didn't do it. It's honestly been like life changing in a way. It's really crazy to think about. I've been collecting like a year and a half, I guess now. Also, wait, what did I say? Did I say September 2022 ish. August, September-ish 2022. I get my years confused now. I think that was when I started collecting. So then I started YouTube like June 2023, I think. That's when I posted my video. So it's been crazy. It's crazy. It went by fast. I got to think about it. It feels like I just started collecting like last year, but no, that was when I started my channel. So it ends up being a blur. I can't, and I just use the excuse. I got 2 kids. I can't keep track of everything. It's just,
it's hard to keep track of no matter what.
Everything gets blurred. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And we're kind of living in the moment too, because it's like every week it's kind of something new to talk about, right? Like last week it was Dune, the Paul Atreides, and then the week before that it was something else, and so on and so forth. So it's like we're kind of like moving on quickly. Just like it's kind of like it's hard to keep up,
Yep. yeah, week by week it changes, right? How you figure says, Steve, what are some other options other than sneakerheads you're contemplating? Dude, I don't have any. I don't have any at all. So I need some options. Stacy says, how about Splurge Troopers? I actually kind of like this. I kind of like Splurge Troopers. Yeah, splurging on Hot Toys. Yeah, exactly.
We do that.
16 Star Wars Pimzoid says, I was like you, Evil Sneaker. I collected Black Series, but kept everything in box, but sold them all when Hasbro changed the packaging with no windows. Then I got into 16 with just Star Wars. Very nice, man. Yeah, I sold Black Series probably when they started doing the second wave of like the credit collection, like the Mandalorian line, like on card back, where they did like the artwork for the Mandalorian that they would show post credit or after, like during the credits, like the concept art. And then they came out with this line of figures called the Credit Collection, where they were concept art from the show. And then at that point, this was like just before they changed to no window packaging to reduce plastic. But then like they just started doing I just didn't like the direction that the line was heading. It was just, they were doing too many repaints. They just were doing some really weird stuff. And it was just time to get out.
What's funny is that I have a buddy that I've tried to convince to become a Hot Toys collector, and he's strictly 1/12 scale, right? And I actually got him to buy the Empire Strikes Back Vader Hot Toys. That's the only one I've ever been able to convince him. But I thought that might be like opening up, everything, and the floodgates, right? But he actually, like, he really liked it, but he was just like, I'm still a 1/12 scale. Like, I'm not gonna go. And I feel like there's some collectors that are in the 1/12 scale and they just don't want to, move from that direction. That's just their focus. And plug to Shane there, focus. And that's just their focus, and they just don't want to, get out of that. Which, it's funny because we'll have the debates. I'm like, how can you be satisfied with that figure when it doesn't look at all like that person, But for him, it's like, oh, it's the cost effective, right? It's like it's only $20 or $25 or whatever it is now, versus the $300 figure, So
yeah, that was another thing, is like their price went up to $25, and like for me, I pretty much got everything. Like I was a completionist for that line, so I would just like buy a case pack. Well, when it went up to $25 and you're getting 8 figures, that's $200, and some of them in there might not be like figures that are all that interesting. So then it's like you spend a little bit more, you could have a Hot Toys figure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just, but I get it. I also get. I know a lot of people aren't just buying case packs either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like some people are buying, not nearly
he does
that amount of figures too.
Yeah, like my buddy, he does Marvel Legends, he does Black Series, he does Mayfex, he does all those. So
yeah, that's a lot. It's a big commitment, but kudos to him. Yep. Yeah. Cage like Splurge Troopers. I kind of like that. I just think I think it's funny, and people buy splurge on figures. Oh, look at this. Oh, man.
Oh, there he is.
How does this happen? Joey was probably just waiting. He was probably just waiting. His ears are ringing, or he's just waiting for the right time to strike. Here's his name come up, and he's in here. What's up, Joey? Another Splurge Trooper, the Evil Empire. What's up, Joey Splurge? Thank you for being here, bro. Darth Tomorrow says a lot of Black Series collectors just can't swing the Hot Toys pricing. I get anybody who doesn't want to collect Hot Toys. I understand it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Figurecraft, another channel member, is in the house. Says good eves, fellas. What's up, Figurecraft? Thank you for being here, bro. Good to see you in here again as well. Jose and Steve, hello, my dudes. Hopefully no Sunday hangovers. No, man. No. I can't do that.
Tired from Universals, but
no. I get up at like 4:45 every day, 4:45, 5 o'clock. So I got to be on my game. You know what I mean? I can't be messing with that especially on a Sunday night. It's like worse than a school night when you're an adult. Don't stay up late on a school night. Well, you do it when you're an adult. You pay for it 100 times worse.
Oh, I know. It's so terrible. And I'm really bad at that, like falling asleep on time. It's like lately I've been having this really weird pattern where it's like 10:30 and I'm like, well, I kind of want to drink some milk or a cereal or something and put on a movie, and like there's something to watch while I'm eating whatever I'm eating.
Yep.
And I end up watching the whole movie, and it's like 12:30, and I'm like, okay, I should go to bed now. It's like 1 o'clock when I fall asleep. So it's like, I gotta be at school at 8 a.m. to work tomorrow, but whatever.
Yep. It's also like, I swear some nights, because like I work such long days, and then I get home and like I want to stay up for a while. That's why I like streaming, like when my kids go to bed too, because like I want to stay up for a while and do something fun. I don't just want to like go to bed early, because then I got to get up and do it all over again the next day, and like I didn't have any free time. So yeah, it's funny. It's funny how it works and what you justify as an adult. But no Sunday hangovers here. Brad Cormack says, as you know, I'm on my way out of the Black Series. Can't wait to move on. I love Black Series when I had it, but
I got out from Black Series a few years ago, and it's funny, that same friend I'm telling you about, he's like, I can't believe you got out like right before they started using that technology where the facial, like, I don't know what 3D scanning,
just like face scan technology.
Yeah. They say before that they started using that technology, like all your figures are really bad compared to the new ones, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to buy the new ones. I'd rather buy Hot Toys. And it's like, it's a debate.
I remember the face scan. I was like, oh my God, like this is so realistic. And then until you see a Hot Toys figure, and then you're like, okay, it's just a whole nother level. But for what they do in 12 scale is like, honestly, they do a great job with what they do. And the face scan really is like pretty decent. But yeah, it's just, and then I had all these older figures that were older paint apps, and they're redoing all of them. Like they're redoing so many of them with these paint updates. And then you're stuck with all these original figures. Like it's worse than a 2.0. This is like next level. Like they're recreating everything. But anyway,
then they reuse parts all the time, right? They're
always reusing
from
parts
this
and bodies.
person in the body, and this is like
they'd use a body of a trooper on another trooper where that body like wasn't even accurate. So so it goes. This is crazy. Black Series is going up in price again with the next wave to what? Like $27.99 or like. What is it? It went up. That was another reason why I was like $24.99 when it went up. I was like, ooh, this is this. And then exclusives were like $31.49. I'm like, I'm not. I don't like the way this is headed. And then now you got like these 2-packs on Amazon exclusives for like $65, $70. I'm like, oof, man.
That's what I tell my buddies. It's like, you're willing to pay $60, $85 for that 12 scale. And he's like, you can buy, like, save that money and buy a Hot Toy. But it's like, anyways, it's an ongoing debate.
Yep. It's funny. How you figure says, well, Black Series has Migs Mayfeld, so Black Series has a lot of figures. That Hot Toys doesn't. We do need Migs Mayfeld Hot Toys. That'd be dope.
That'd be
really cool. Joey said he just got done bawling. I'm sorry you were crying, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you were crying. If you need moral support, you can message me, bro. Sorry.
We were just talking about this in the afternoon too. I was telling him that me and Marco were talking about playing ball. Because Marco was like, oh, I'm playing ball. I was like, hey, if you can tune in today? And he's like, oh, I'll see. I'm going to play ball. And I was like, oh, you play ball? I didn't know you played ball. Let's play ball when you come for Cali Collector Con, which is supposed to happen in May, first week of May, guys.
Nice.
If you guys are in this area, definitely come through. So I was telling him we should ball when you're over here. And he's like, oh, yeah, it'd be cool. And I remember Joey likes to play ball too. He shares that, and when he's playing balls with his buddies and things like that. So I was like, man, I wish you could come over. And he's like, oh, I know, but responsibilities and stuff. So
that type of balling. Oh, okay, sorry, Joey. I thought you were
oh, he was crying. No, he wasn't crying. Maybe he was crying on the court because he got beat.
Bad joke.
Maybe
that's probably it. That was probably a bad joke on my part. 16 shooters in the house. What's up, man? He says, hey, it's a fact checker. Hi, Jose.
That's me. Yeah, that's another one of my nicknames.
I love it.
Hey, Trevor, I love this guy. He's a cool guy. I love streaming with him, and he's got great focus. Another plug there, Shane, focus. He's great focus on the way he collects too, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, dope. Very dope. Trevor, thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you in here. Joey putting up triple dunk. Gosh, I'm not even gonna reload.
No way. No way.
Darth Mar says, I was a Funko guy, never really was into Black Series. Okay, well, Funko, like 95% of the people who I've had on this show started with Funko. So
yeah, I have a couple Funkos, and I still have them. They're cool for like decoration and stuff, but that's another rabbit hole.
I don't know any. This would be interesting, taking a poll of all Hot Toys collectors to see which ones like never ever had one Funko. I feel like
I think it'd be like 0, at least 1.
0%. Yeah, there's probably like a very, very limited amount out there.
I've had it like too, where like someone didn't know what to buy me. He's like, "Well, he's a collector. Let me just buy him a Mandalorian Funko Pop." And so I'd get that, he's like for my birthday,
Yep.
and it's like, oh,
That's what happened to me.
okay.
Like I got gifted a couple random Funko Pops. I'm like, I don't collect these. Like, yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan, but like people just like buy those. And I feel like that's why they're so marketable to people, because like they're so recognizable to everybody. They look unique and cool. And someone's like, oh, it's a big headed character from a show. I'm just gonna get this as a gift. It looks funny and it's a cool gift. And like then it just evolves from there. It's interesting. Oh, Figurecrafts is still no Battinson for. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. Yes, it's really crazy.
And I got the in art one on order, so
yeah, me
who
too.
knows when I'll get that one? So
I might not see any Batman until like 2025.
yeah, maybe.
No,
at this rate.
I'm excited for the in art one too. I'm excited to have the rooted hair. Yeah, I'm excited.
Maybe I should message my good friend John. Since we're buddies now, we're super tight. Ever since we hung out, we shared a soda. So maybe I should message him and be like, "Hey man, can you like pull some strings? Let me get that Batman."
Yeah,
before Riley too. Before Riley, because he's always complaining. Yeah, can I get it before Riley?
Yeah, I need to. I should try to reach out to John and chat with him. He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Let's see here. One six Star Wars Pimzoids. Is there any way to send you pics of our collections or Black Series collections? You can always send me photos of your collections if you are on Instagram. Instagram is probably the best way. My link is down in the description.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be cool to share like people's collections.
Yeah. I should do that one episode. I should just do a collector tour, community collections, and just show people who they are. Ooh, I like this idea. Look at this. Yeah. I'm already creating just a, nobody take this idea because I'm saying it live. I'm going to do a collector tour, a community collector tour where people tell who they are in a brief information, like a paragraph about themselves.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Send a picture of like their collection or something. There you go.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Look at that. 20th episode. Big things are happening. Oh yeah. How do you figure saying try selling stuff in lots? Oh yeah. He's trying to get rid of some Funkos too. Yeah. I sold a bunch of stuff in lots, and yeah, selling is not fun.
Yeah. That's what I was telling you about it in your last stream, I think, about my Black Series. I have like a bag full of Black Series that I don't know what to do. And it's just like, I ran out of space where I had them.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's what like Cage was saying too. So I kind of helped him sell some of the ones he had. But honestly, like it depends on how much of a loss you want to take. But if you just go on eBay, if you ever sell on eBay,
I have never sold.
You could
eBay.
sell somewhere else too if you really wanted to. Like the Black Series, I think I was telling you in the chat too when you were. I think I responded to you with this. Like the buy, sell, trade, or the Black Series for sale groups are a really good place to do it if you have Facebook. Those are a really good place. Because then somebody will just pay you on PayPal, and then like you just post up just take a picture of everything. And if you want to try to sell it all at once, depending on how many figures you have, you could just price it for a price of a decent lot, whatever it is. And, you could always accept just tell people you'll consider offers and stuff. And
yeah,
you can always, that's an easy way to do it. You can adjust the price and stuff. And usually people are, that's where I sold a lot of my stuff. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely try that.
Yep. Oh man, I used to live in those groups. It's like bringing back memories. It's kind of what I do with Hot Toys now.
That's dangerous though. Dangerous. Yeah. We're gonna talk about the dangers.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Yep. It is. All the deals popping up lately, all the time. Nick says I went from Lego to Black Series to Hot Toys. Nice. That's a good evolution. Yeah. Wait, he changed it. He went from Lego to Black Series to Funkos to Hot Toys.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
From Black Series to Funkos.
Yeah. Interesting. Figurecraft likes this idea. Yes, it makes us be part of the show besides chat. Yeah, I should do a community collector tour. I like this idea. I like it. And you can rate members' collections out of number of Obi-Wan. Out of number of Obi-Wans. Whoa.
We don't want people to get offended though, so maybe you can do it in a way where it's nice. But
I could never hate on somebody's collection.
And everybody has such a different, unique setup, right? And collection,
That's what's
it
great
kind of
about
reflects
the
on
hobby.
them.
Yep, 100%. Ren says, I got my Nightmare Batman from the 2-pack at local. Yep, buy-sell trade groups are buy-sell trade groups are great if you have good luck and you got like some. Ooh, nice.
I don't know if you can see that over there.
That's flagging.
It's right over there. That's a Ren's piece right there. It's Padme.
Ooh, nice.
Right over there.
Oh, that drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very nice. Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't really see like too much of the detail, but you can definitely see that it's a photo. That's cool.
Yeah.
Or I should say a drawing.
Let's see if I can move it.
Oh yeah. Dang. I think I might have seen that one on his page.
Yeah. He drew it for me.
I need that Black Panther. Shit.
Oh yeah, you definitely do.
All right, stop. Don't move your camera again. Stop. Brad says, ooh, look at that. Brad says, I have one person interested in my entire Black Series collection. Dude, lucky. Honestly, I would take a little bit less if I would have taken probably a little bit less if I didn't. I had to sell mine like over the course of 6 months. It was a pain. It was a pain. Low-key collectors in the house. What's up, Calvin? Says,
hey,
what's up, bro?
Calvin?
Thank you for
good
tuning
to see
in,
you here,
Calvin.
Man.
Yep, good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Cage says, that's why you rated out of Obi-Wan's. He's the GOAT no matter what. My man. Let's go. Okay. Let's go on to the next question because we're only on question number 3. What are your top 3 figures do you have on number 1? I like to keep it kind of to like, you're like kind of how you navigate the hobby and stuff. But I feel like I like just throwing in like a couple figure questions that are not too crazy. This is always like a generic when people always ask, what are your top 3 figures? You can have one, keep one. What would you do? But do you have any thoughts on this? Is this like something you actually could pick 3? Do you actually have a number 1? It's okay if you don't. I'm just.
You know what? It's gonna be like recency bias, but that Padme, and Elizabeth knows, she's in the chat. Elizabeth knows I've been.
See your enabler.
Yep. It's funny because the Padme figure is so good, man, and I've been waiting for that for a while. And she knows I've talked to her about it ever since I've been a kid. One of the first things I had, and I remember having, is the Nintendo 64 game that with the racer game for the pod racing.
I'm so
right?
Racer.
And I remember watching the Phantom Menace and loving Natalie Portman. Until this day, she's like my favorite celebrity crush. I've gone to see her twice. Once she had like a career retrospect conversation thing with this magazine, and I saw her. And then last year when she was promoting Love and Thunder, me and Elizabeth went to see her at the I think it was Kimmel show or Fallon, or one of the late night shows. She was on the show, and Elizabeth, she was turning during a commercial break, and she looked in our direction and she kind of waved, and she waved back, and then I waved at her and she waved back at me, and I was like, anyways, fanboy.
Elizabeth says you're welcome.
Yeah. So that
funny.
figure,
That's a cool story.
Yeah, so that figure, I've been waiting for that for a while, and it came out so good, and to have it right there, so she's actually standing right up there. I was trying to move the camera, but anyways,
I got you.
I'll show you later.
Right in line
next
with the picture.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool, man. Very cool.
So I put that probably. I put that number 1, but like I said, recency bias, and then bias overall, right?
Yeah.
But so I do love that figure. I've always loved my Revenge of the Sith Anakin light side. I've never had the dark side one. I should have got it, but especially knowing now how expensive it was going to be, right? But the light side one. Yeah, the light side Anakin that I still have in my collection, but now I feel like I don't love it as much because of that artisan version. It's like I saw it and then I saw someone compare it like with the likeness from then to now with the artisan, and I'm like, oh, damn it. And then I wasn't able to get the artisan. So anyways, but even though it's still a great figure though. So it's still one of my favorites. I love Revenge of the Sith. It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies in general. So that figure, it's still important to me. So it's definitely one of my favorites. And what else? I should have written down. I used to have the Affleck Batman, which was one of my favorite ones as well, but I recently sold it. So, and it's so funny because I recently sold it, even though it's like probably my favorite bat suit in general. And I recently sold it, And I sold this to someone in the community, and he's always posting about it. Like he's like doing updates to it. He got a custom sculpt that he painted himself.
Oh, your figure
And it's
going
like,
down the
and I'm like, do I regret it now?
You're like,
You know
dang
what I
it.
mean? He messaged me yesterday. He was just telling me, he's like, hey man, I'm sending you some photos. Just thought you might want to see how it looks now, and yada yada. And I was like,
You're
oh,
no,
man.
I don't.
No.
Are you gonna get the 2.0?
It's funny because, you know, I think I am, but I'm also waiting on InArt. I know that's the key phrase now,
Yeah.
right? Wait on InArt.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting
curious to see what
InArt.
they're gonna do with the other like the Dark Knight and like BVS, and I want to see like what they do with some other like the types of Batman suits that are different from like the Pattinson one, right? I'm interested to see how they're gonna do that. Sure.
I feel like it's also going to be tough because a lot of people have a lot of opinions on the Affleck suit. You know, like the color grading. Like, you know, Zack Snyder used a specific color grading that made it look darker, but if you look at the promo shots, it's a little lighter gray, and so on and so forth. And
a lot of debate.
so it's like
about
I
that
feel
suit.
like there's going to be in the eye. So
yeah,
it's going to be hard to please people.
Yep. Cool, man. Cool. Good list.
Nothing
Unique
new in this
list, too.
community, right?
Yep. Nothing new. Okay, I want to get to these questions because I know you got probably some good stuff to say. So next question, what is your collecting philosophy and how do you navigate the hobby?
Ooh. Let's see. I think I had
Elizabeth's
written
favorite is
something
King Shark.
Yes.
Nice.
She loves sharks though.
Nice.
She's biased.
Yeah.
She loves sharks. So I got the King Shark, got him with the Peacemaker. So perfect pairing there.
Yeah. Ooh, sorry. Before you say
go ahead.
Star Wars Pimzoid. Dark Side Anakin animated Boba Fett and Black Suit Boba Fett for me. Yeah, I have animated Boba Fett in the box. I've had him for months and I have not opened him up because I don't really have anywhere to put him right now. And I've thought about selling him, but then I'm like, I gotta keep like the Life Day, like holiday special suit. Like I can't bring myself to get rid of it. So I have it, but yeah.
Figure craft. Yes. Someone called Eric. He's mentioning, who was it? I think I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. That sold it to him.
Gotcha. Dang, now he's customing in
custom sculpt that he painted himself, and yeah.
Dang, that's very cool. Very cool.
So,
okay, anyways, go on.
So like, how do I navigate the hobby? I mean, I don't know. Hard. It's hard to navigate.
It is hard.
It's very challenging. Very, very challenging, especially being in this space now with you guys on the streams and you're being asked the opinion. And I feel like I'm one of those people who's like, it's hard to give an opinion when you don't really have it in hand, right? So you kind of like, well, maybe I should buy that one so I could see how it really is in person, right?
Sure.
So it's tough, but I think one of the things that I try to do is like, I try to think how important is this figure to me? Why do I need it? And kind of like, do I think I'm still going to like it, in a few months? Or is it just hype? Is it just because everyone's getting it,
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would try to do. It's hard though, especially because with the situation that we're in, on talking about it on the streams over and over and over again, it becomes hard. Just, it's like, I feel like right now more than ever, it's harder for me to stop collecting because it's like, well, we're always talking about it. It's always what I'm watching. Sometimes I feel like I have trouble even stop watching streams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, even though they're talking about the same thing, but I was like, oh, I want to hear Marco's opinion, and I want to hear Mario's opinion, and I want to hear Calvin's opinion, and I want to hear all these other people's opinions.
Yeah.
And like you said, like we were talking backstage, that familiarity that you have with the people, it's like you kind of feel like they're your buddies, and your buddies are talking about it. So he's like, you kind of want to join in, right? Like it's like you're all hanging out in the same space, even though you're just watching as a viewer, but you're all hanging out. And a lot of streams have that vibe where it feels like you're just a couple of buddies just hanging out and talking. So it's tough because you're like, oh well, they think it's really cool. Maybe I should buy it too. So
yeah, you get enabled by your friends, right? And like you try not to get influenced by your friends, but yeah, it's like, it's crazy too, because it's really hard. I should say it's really hard, but like the hype factor is definitely there for a lot of figures, because the moment, I always think about the day that something drops, within like the first hour, if you're on Instagram or something, myself included, if it's a figure that I'm hyped about, everybody is posting about it. That's all you see. Like, are you picking this one up? Are you getting it? Oh, I'm pre-ordering it. Already pre-ordered. Like, you just see all this stuff. Like, it's announced a few hours later, it goes up. pre-order instantly. So it's really tough to like, then you're like, oh, should I do that? It goes through your mind. But it's hard. You got to stay disciplined. You got to stay disciplined. And that's why there's a lot of people in the community who are pretty good at like, bringing you back to reality and just being like, just maybe think about it. There's always, I always love hearing the different opinions of people. Cause I think to me, I more so look at, getting the different opinions of people as, like helping me make an informed decision.
Yeah.
Not so much being influenced, but I like getting, takes of things like, oh, I never really thought about that. You know what I mean? That's kind of some of the things I like to think about, or just getting different takes from people before you make the decision. Or I just will ignore all that and I'll just do it. A lot of times I just make my own decision because I want the figure. I know I'm going to get it. That's the majority of the time. But sometimes like, I just like hearing what everybody has to say about the figures. It's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, but it's like it's hard. It's hard not to be swayed by the hype, right?
Yep.
So I guess what I would recommend is definitely try not to be swayed by it if you can. And again, I think that's one of the next questions, right? Like in terms of tips. So
yeah, sure.
Spreadsheets, or do I have like a kind of like a collage, or I don't know what you want to call it, like a grid, like what has pictures of all the like figures that I have on pre-order.
Yep. Yeah.
Consider that. Look at your grid or your spreadsheets. Look at the list. Look at the total cost. Look at how much you're spending, and then reflect on that. Really, he's like, whoa, maybe I should just cut back on it, because he's like, I'm spending maybe close to this much amount that I could go on vacation. I could go visit Europe. I could go do this. So,
Yeah. I do use a spreadsheet too, so I can see the running total. Keep myself sane. Keep myself in check too. You know what I mean? Just like, okay, bring you back down to earth. Yeah, it definitely
does. I recently, I was talking to Mark about this. I won't disclose the number, but I was recently talking to him about the number of pre-orders, because now we gotten back into the habit of doing pre-orders, where before it was like, oh, just wait until it releases, get it on a discount, right? That was the philosophy. And now it's like, well, no, you kind of have to pre-order, because look, now everything's kind of selling out. We don't know how
we're going
much
to talk about
made,
this.
yada yada.
It brings up a good point right here. But go on, continue. I'll bring this one back up. But
so it's like now, like, I was talking to him about that, and I was like, oh man, like my number's pretty high. And it was like, I'm like, well, what's your number? And he's like, what's this? And I'm like, whoa, my number's here. And he's like, dude, you're wilding. You got to stop. And I was like,
you gotta stop. Mine's pretty high too. But Brad says I have to have spreadsheets. I need to know how much I have out there. Yeah. Another thing is that I do. So I keep a spreadsheet of all my pre-orders, all the stuff that I have pre-ordered each year. So I already started like a 2025 one. For ones that like Balin and Shin, who are 2025, I already have them on that list. But then I keep a separate spreadsheet of every purchase I've made, Hot Toys figures. I have every purchase I've made with a running total of what I've spent and every date. So like I have the date, the figure that I bought, and what the price was, and I have a running total. And then if I sell it, like in Excel, you can do like subtract. So I have like the total, and then I have a subtraction of what I've sold. So then I can see like the net amount of what I've actually spent. And like if I have gains and losses on figures, so like say I bought a figure and then sold it and made some money on it, I have a tracker of like, that's whatever, just random number. I bought it for 200, I sold it for 250. So I have like, it's very intricate. This is every figure that I bought, but I like doing that because it's like, then you look at the total of, wow, this is like a lot of money. And then I can go back to like, say I want to sell something. I can go back and reference that. Say I don't remember what I spent on something. I can go back and look at, okay, I bought this figure 3 years ago. At some point that's going to happen. This is what I spent, like if I'm thinking about selling this, like what am I comfortable selling it for? You know what I mean? I do that too. But it's a lot of work.
It's a tough market, and we were talking about this earlier. Tough market.
I want to go back to this question quick before I do. T-Lo says, keep on breaking. Wrong show. Join the evil empire. Yeah, you're right. Wrong show, D-Lo. What's up, bro? Thank you for stopping into the show. I want to get back to this question here. So he said, 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid says, did you see Merrick from the Ahsoka show's low stock on Sideshow? I did. Does this mean nobody's ordering it and they are cutting the pre-orders? I think we've talked about this a lot. Like we talked about this on Wolfpack a lot, but there's I don't know. One other figure though so another one that just went low stock is John Wick, the special edition John Wick figure that like right before the show. So I was waiting to pre-order it because I wanted my rewards to stack up.
Yeah.
But like the special edition is the one that comes with the rifle. And then otherwise, if it's gone on Sideshow, you're going to have to get it from Hong Kong. So I pre-ordered like right before the show, I pre-ordered John Wick because, and like I had like close to $50 in rewards, but it would have been nice to have it stack up a little bit more. I'm going to end up spending that 50, or I'm going to end up getting more rewards and end up probably ordering something else inevitably. But so it took, I think, $50 off, which is, I'm fine with doing that. I was going to get the figure anyways. I was kind of waiting for this moment of like, I'm going to pre-order John Wick, but I'm waiting for it to show low stock on the special edition specifically. Sure enough. So we'll see what happens. I don't love doing that, but like, this is not one I'm comfortable missing out on. I've been waiting for a John Wick since I started collecting that one that I really wanted. So that's kind of my thought process with that, how I did that. But this is interesting. So I think what's happening is like Sideshow's trying to correct the market by ordering stuff. I think they're filling up their wait lists, and then they're getting, I think Hot Toys is probably doing smaller batches of figures in general. So they'll sell an allotment to Sideshow, and then Sideshow will sell it. They'll have a wait list, and maybe Hot Toys sends them another batch. And then they have people on the wait list, and the way that they're funneling those sales to people is they're doing waitlist conversions rather than just having it full on open for everybody to buy, because then they have to order that allotment and promise those to people essentially. So I think what's happening is they're ordering smaller batches, and then they're kind of gatekeeping the amount they're selling by selling them through waitlist conversions, because there's so many waitlist conversions. Like I tested this. So Black Panther, I've talked about this in the past, the new like original suit Black Panther that came out, I got on the wait list, converted 4 times. So I got on and it would convert, and then I would get back on it just to test it. I wanted to see like, hey, I wonder how many times I can get this to convert, or like, is this really full on sold out? It converted 4 times for me over the course of like, I don't know, it was a month or something. It was like, a few weeks, a month or something. I forget exactly the time frame, but I got 4 conversions. So that makes me think that like they're probably doing that. That's kind of my thought process on. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Not really. I mean, I think it is what you're saying. I think it's, they're buying, like, so Hot Toys is making less. They're buying what they think they'll need, plus wait less, and then plus what they're going to sell to other retailers, and then kind of just cutting it there. I honestly think that that's what's happening. And I think it's because they've been burned so many times now with all these figures that are sitting on Sideshow, right? And so there's so much of that, the Landos, right? That are just sitting there that they're trying to sell for half off, right? And they just and they just, they can't sell them. So I think they've been burned too many times, and at this point they're just like, let's limit that,
Yeah. And I think I've heard people in the past say too that they kind of look at, how much, like within the first couple weeks or 30 days or whatever, like how many sales are they making, and then projecting it from there. Like there's some interesting stuff. We'll never like truly fully know, but I do think that like there's truth to saying that like they're lessening the amount because they still got, like you said, Jose, just a bunch of figures just sitting around. They do not want that to happen again. Their warehouses, and also we talk about Hot Toys, statues is even worse for them. They've got so many statues they have for sale. Like I can't imagine, like we think Hot Toys is a problem. Statues are like a whole nother can of worms when it comes to, I can't imagine like what they're going to do with all those statues. But anyways, I think they're trying to just correct it and make sure that they don't have their warehouse full of figures again. And I'm kind of like, America's one I'm on the fence about. It's like, I don't know. Do I it's tough. You don't want, and then you don't want to like give into the FOMO either, but
yes.
Yep. So and that, like, that's relatively quick. Like that figure was not announced all that long ago. So that one's, the Merrick one's kind of interesting. I didn't think he would sell out that quick. So yeah.
I think it's what they're saying. I don't think they're making a lot of him. He's just green. Yeah, for that reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't attached to the character, and what is he? And then what'll happen is they'll do a season 2, and he'll come back. He'll come back and be like the same armor, and people are like, what the heck? Wow, Joey, you need to hop off, bro.
Whoa, what's going on,
Tilo
Joey?
saying you honor me. Good Lord. Hey, Joey, congrats on your house, bro.
Yes.
Real talk.
Congratulations, Joey.
Congrats on your house, man. That's a big deal. Joey with the great title on his video today, the Hot Toys Moving On, or whatever it was. Thought that was funny. Joey trying to bait us into thinking we're he's moving on from his Hot Toys collection, but
no way.
Not gonna happen.
Do you ever see like an end sight? I think you guys were talking about this, right? On the Wolfpack. It was like
an end game.
Yeah.
I don't have an end game plan.
Yeah.
I think my main, we talked about that at length on Wednesday, but I think my main point is like, I'm just enjoying the ride, and I'll think about that at a later time. I just don't really like, and if there comes a point when, okay, enough is enough, then that happens, but that's not something that I have it's so hard to project, it's so hard to project what's going to happen. And if I was like, well, I don't see myself getting out of this anytime soon and too deep now. Figurecraft says they should have an in-person warehouse sale. I'll be down to drive up there and get stuff half off, make room for their warehouse. That'd be interesting.
They should. Yeah, they should.
Do you have thoughts on that, Jose? Like what your end game is, or do you have a plan? Or
it's so funny. I remember one time I was hanging out with Elizabeth, and we were in the room, and I had one DTOF, maybe 2, and a few figures, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm pretty happy with my collection. I don't think I need to buy anything more. And she's like, really? Like, you're done? And I was like, I won't say completely, but I'm like, I think maybe 1 or 2 here and there, but it's going to be like I feel like I love my collection and I don't need anything more. And then out of nowhere, I spiraled out of control. And then now I got more DTOFs. I got more places to put figures, and now they're all over the place. And it's like, what happened to that? And I'm like, oops.
Oops. Oops, that would happen. That's exactly what happens. Yep. So yeah, I'm just enjoying it. Just if there comes a time where I feel like I'm not enjoying it anymore, then I'll reevaluate. But
yeah,
I feel like I'm just it's not like, I know I haven't been collecting Hot Toys for I say like a year and a half, but also like I collected Black Series for 8 or 9 years, so I'm not like new to how to navigate collecting in general, and like you just have to be smart about what you're doing, and just you don't want to burn yourself out on the hobby. You know what I mean? Elizabeth says no game is like
oops.
It's good.
Maybe one day. Maybe
it's healthy. It's healthy for him. Let him enjoy while it's going. Black Series doesn't count. Shut up, Graham. It does when you have hundreds of figures. It's hard to navigate when you have.
Have you counted?
Hot Toys or Black Series?
Hot Toys.
I don't know. I haven't updated my lists in a little bit, but I think I'm somewhere between 80 and 90.
Whoa.
Yeah.
80 or 90, and you started collecting last year, or a year and a half, you said?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago. But also, like, I sold over 500 Black Series figures.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So, like, all of that, well, not all of that, but the majority of that ended up going towards, like, that's when it was, you want to talk about buyer's market. That's when a lot of that stuff, I was just like, oh, I got this Black Series money. I'll just get this figure. And, like, I could go backwards quite a bit, but still get good deals going backwards. I just got good times getting so many deals.
Yeah. I think last I counted, I was ballpark, I think it was 67, 68 or so. And I've been collecting probably since The Force Awakens Rey, which probably was my first pre-order. So we're talking about like 2016 or so. I've been collecting for a few years. But like I said, it was like very kind of like one figure here and there.
Slowly ramping it up.
Yeah. And then I think the last 2 years or so, it's when it really ramped up.
Yeah, because they're coming out with so much good stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's crazy. It's crazy. Will always be my Padawan.
We will not. Oh wow.
Yeah. That's funny, but yeah, it's crazy. So I kind of my situation was just unique in that I kind of swapped a collection for like the majority of another collection, and then I slowed. Then I like ended up. I mean, I kind of had to slow down because I had the money I had to work with after getting out of Black Series, and then I had to, just slow it down at some point. But you can't just like keep going when you don't, have the money for it. So, then I was like, after I saved some money, spent some money on some Hot Toy stuff, and then reevaluated at that point of like how I'm doing things kind of now. So, but yeah, it's fun, fun times doing that. Okay. What is your most important piece of advice to give to other collectors?
Oh man, here we go. This is the important part, man. Well, not only the spreadsheets that we were talking about, right? Do spreadsheets, accountability, know how much you're spending, try to figure out what that number is, and really reevaluate, is this what I should be spending? Right? And consider how much, right? And what you could be doing with that money instead. Now, again, if this brings you joy, like it does to us, then, who's to say? You know what I mean? Yep. Do what you like. But just also consider as like, okay, you don't want to go in debt. You don't want to use credit cards and have a big, amount there just sitting there, and you're just kind of like, oh, and then like, and what's worse, you have credit card debt, and then you get hit with more and more and more and more. So my piece of advice is, when you're buying, consider, can I buy this figure outright right now? And if your answer is no, then maybe don't buy it. So that's one big piece. It's just like, if you say, well, I have more than enough to cover what I have on my credit card or whatever, or all the invoices that I have plus this, then go ahead and make the purchase. But if you can't, then maybe reevaluate what the choices that you're making. Don't get consumed by the hobby. You know what I mean? Because it's so consuming. Like I said, this is advice that I want to give to myself too, because sometimes I get trapped, right? And it's just like, whoa, you want to keep up with the latest trend, the latest hype, the latest figure. And you get hit with, like, remember we were talking about earlier, the 5 invoices, the 3 invoices all at once from Sideshow or from wherever you ordered from. And it's just like all these, and it's just like, whoa, am I mentally prepared to drop $1,000 because it's going to be for 3 figures or how many figures it is? Am I not only mentally, but financially stable to go ahead and take care of this? Or should I maybe push some of them? Think about it like that. Like, if I really, really want it and I don't want to cancel, can I push it? Can I push it maybe a few months? Is there a payment plan that I can do? Or PayPal Pay in 4. Marco has enabled me to do that, a lot of that.
It's a slippery slope.
Oh, just put it on the PayPal Pay in 4. You can give yourself a few weeks to go ahead and pay it. So there's that. So think about it. But also, then you start doing a bunch of Pay in 4s, and then you're getting hit every 2 weeks with like 5 different Pay in 4s, and then you're like paying.
It becomes like a bi-weekly payment plan forever for your life. So like, it's just a running a PayPal Pay in 4 is like a bi-weekly bill at that point.
So what I would say is don't go off hype, consider space also, because my room's kind of limited. I'm looking for more and more ways to add more space, but even then, consider, where is this going to go? Is it fit my collection? Do I have space for it? And so if you don't have a place for it now, I think I'm not a fan of, keeping them in the box. Sometimes it's necessary, but for me, I always have to crack it open and check it, right? At least make sure it's good. Because if it's not, then there's an issue, then you have to fix. And that's always something you don't want to deal with, but it happens to the best of us. I've had a couple things where I opened it, there was an issue, and, got it taken care of. I haven't had one where nothing to the extreme where it was really, really terrible, but I've had issues like that before. So I always got to crack it open, but also consider space, where it's going to go. Does it fit the collection? And also rabbit holes. It's like, if you order that specific figure, is that going to make you say, okay, now I have to tackle the whole line? Or can you be disciplined enough to say, hey, I can order Miles Morales from Spider-Verse, and I'm okay with just having Miles. I don't need Gwen. I don't need, all these 2099. Sure. I don't need Hobie Brown. I don't need any of these guys.
Any of them.
So just, that's what I'm saying. Like, consider it that way. It's just like, if you can only get one, and you're okay with that, go ahead. But if you feel like, hey, if I order him or her, then I know I'm gonna want to get the pairing. I'm gonna want, and then I'm gonna want a trooper, and then I'm gonna want this, and I'm gonna want that. And it's just like, are you mentally and financially, at the right place to be able to carry that out?
Yep.
And that's hard. That's something that,
Solid, man.
that's something that I've had trouble with. Like, for example, I really loved the Nightmare Batman. And then they started doing those third-party Nightmare figures. So then I started buying those because I wanted to complete the line. And then I was like, well, Cyborg got announced, so now I got to buy Cyborg. And I want him to be part of the Nightmare crew, so I bought the Nightmare accessory pack. And then I started buying all of them. Then eventually I remember there was one really bad Mara. And then I was like, Mara's a whole other issue, right? But it was a third party. And I was like, well, do I buy her? Even though A, she didn't come out that great. B, she's third party. And C, I don't really have the space or the financials for it now. And I remember I talked to Elizabeth about it. I showed it. That's one of the things we'll talk about it with her and how, her influence on all this. But I remember I showed it to her and she's like, yeah, that's terrible. Don't buy that. And I was like, but I'm like, can you be satisfied if you're collecting a line not to have one that's missing? Right? Can you do that? Are you to the point where you can say, I know there's one that's missing and I'm okay with it? Hobie Brown is a must. Loki's talking about it. Yeah, he's great, and I want him too.
Look at you guys. And then this is what happens. This is funny because then Calvin says, thanks, you've just grabbed John Wick figure craft. I'm right behind you, Calvin. And then that's what happens. That's what ends up happening. That's where it gets tough too, because you talk about like that's a good point you made about like asking yourself like, can I financially like afford this now? Like, can I buy this now? Because then you get into like, you get into the PayPal pay in 4 situation, which is nice, but like that expands it out. And then the other thing right now is, now with the hobby shifting back to like what we were just talking about with like Merrick and John Wick, of like, then it's like, well, I don't want to say it's now or never, like that's kind of dramatic, but is there like there's a chance that you're gonna potentially have to overpay down the line if you don't pre-order a figure right now, even though like right now it seems like this is where it's really tricky to navigate, because right now pre-ordering, there's not a lot of stuff that after pre-ordering, the stuff that's going waitlist, there aren't a lot of figures that are really, really expensive in the aftermarket that are new. A lot of them you can get. We always talk about like the anomaly that is Crosshair, which is like crazy. I saw one on one of the BSCs for $700 today.
Wow, 700. I should have invested in that.
Their eBay was 750, 800, 900 on eBay. Saw one on the group today, 700. So Crosshair is like just pulling crazy money, but it's just, you never know. So not only like you have the wait list and you don't know, like John Wick is an example. I'm not willing personally to take the risk. Did I want to pre-order him right now? It's not ideal for me to pre-order him right now. Like I wanted to get a little bit more rewards points, but I'm not willing to take the risk to lose money potentially later, having to spend more to like try to get him from Hong Kong, because I want the special edition. Like it's kind of sucks they gatekeeping a rifle.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping of a rifle for a special edition when John Wick literally uses guns for like a ton of the stuff that he does. So that kind of sucks that the only way you get it is either, and that's like really the only time I buy from Sideshow is if it's a special edition thing that I feel like I want, like Kenobi coming with both the lightsabers, like the little lightsaber box. Like that's something that like I'm not really gonna take a chance on missing. But like I didn't want to necessarily pre-order that right now. But like I said, I don't want to lose out. Number one, not that that's my main concern, but like I also don't want to pay more money later, and I'm going to end up getting the figure. You know what I mean? Merrick is going to be the one where I'm like, I don't know if I might just take a chance on that one and let it go, But I don't know. It's tough because now, like we just talked about, we don't know what the numbers are. And it's a tricky time to try to navigate it. Tricky time.
It's definitely tough right now.
Yeah.
Feeling like you need a pre-order because you might miss that out, so it's tough.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Great advice, by the way. I think all those points are really, really good, and people should definitely like, yeah, take some of those and use them, because it's
the advice I try to give myself.
Yeah, and when it's advice you try to give yourself, that means like it's probably going to be good advice if you're trying to think about it for your own self and your own sake. You know what I mean? So 16 Star Wars Pimzoid says, not trying to flex because I know people have more than me, but I have over 200 all Star Wars Hot Toys. Dang, that's awesome. My problem is I like to army build. Oh man, army building is, I envy you. 1450 first clone troopers. I have issues. Hey, if you have one standard clone trooper that you want to part with for a good price, hit me up, bro. That's the one figure that I missed out on, was a shiny clone. The one figure that I'm like, no, this is literally a standard clone trooper. This thing's going to be available everywhere. And all of a sudden I remember it was like released, low stock, sold out within like, it was so fast. And I'm like, what just happened? And then you couldn't get them anywhere. Oh, sad. Yep. Sad. I still need that standard clone, but I love clones.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I've never bought a trooper. I like troopers. I used to buy them when I collected Black Series, but I've never bought a trooper because I feel personally, if I buy a trooper, I want another one, and then I want another one, and then I want another one. And it's just a rabbit hole that I'm like, I can't do it. And then I feel troopers. I just feel like, unless there's like, it's like, oh, Han in disguise or Luke in disguise, they're just faceless soldiers, right? So in a way, right? So it's like, basically they're going to be really nice accessories to your other figures. And he's like, are you okay with that, paying 200 plus whatever it is for that trooper, or rather just spend it on something else? And for me, up until this point, it's always been, no, I think I'd rather buy something else. So I don't buy the trooper, but I've been tempted many times.
Troopers are great, man. They're really
I know.
They're
Me and
really
Shane have
good
this conversation.
If you like troopers, they're really cool. Cause like, they're just like, I mean, think of Hot Toys quality and then like just the trooper designs and stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's good on you, man. Good on you. He also says, been waiting for my module cases for 16 months. Damn. You should reach out to Brian Wong and ask him, reach out to Module Space and ask him what's going on and see if there's any update. Hopefully soon. Hopefully really soon. You've got to be getting close to soon. Calvin says, don't order figure statues and vehicles all at once. Pick a lane and stick to it. Yeah, it's good advice.
Yeah.
Christian says, anyone know where to get a Wrecker? Yeah, Wrecker sold out, and like Bad Batch is one of those just intriguing lines right now. I do not know anywhere you can get Wrecker right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Me neither.
Elizabeth said immediately no.
She's talking about the Mara.
Yeah,
she was like, nope.
That's funny. Yeah, Darth Tamara says, Crosser sure shit ain't converting. I messaged Sideshow and asked if they were going to get more. Big fat doubt it. Yeah, Crosshair that ship has sailed, unfortunately, I think. Sad. But you play the long game on that one, and see if the price is not going to stay at $700, $800, $900 forever. It's just not. At least I don't think so. Calvin says I need to take my own advice.
We all do. We all do. He's
man.
Not alone.
We all do.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you get the urge, man. You get the urge to splurge troopers. Nick says, just got my tickets to see Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 in theaters. #fix black suit Toby. Dude, that's awesome.
It wouldn't be him without his conversation about Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
I love you, man.
Yeah, that's funny, bro. I love the fix black suit Toby hashtag on all the Hot Toys posts, and it usually comes with a funny joke too.
Yeah,
love it. I only have 6 of the all white clones. I have 0. Oh, that's awesome though. That's awesome. I envy people who can army build. If I could, I would. Christian Cooper says, I forget if Pop Collectibles are reliable. So I personally have never ordered from them. Have you ever ordered from them, Jose?
No, I've actually never ordered from Hong Kong ever.
Oh,
except I mean, unless you want to consider kit, right, for third party, right?
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no.
You never ordered like a Hot Toys figure?
Like first batch, I've never done first batch or anything like that. I've ordered from Hong Kong, like kit, or I ordered KG Hobby once, Giant Toy. So those kind of places are like Hong Kong based, but I've never ordered first batch or second batch or any of that. I've never felt it was worth it.
Yeah. I personally have never used Pop Collectibles, so I'm not really the one to ask, but I know some people, just like any other place they have, and
I hear they're very hit and miss.
Yeah, I've heard that too. So I don't want to speak to them or say anything because I don't really know. So I'm not really the one to ask, unfortunately. But yeah, never ordered from them. Yeah. Alter Ego, you can try Alter Ego. They're a small comic store, I think, or like I don't know if they have a retail store, but yeah, Alter Ego is a place. I forget where they're located. They're Midwest, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
I want to say
I've ordered from them once. Good service.
People have had pretty good experience with them. Yeah, so you can check them. They just don't have a lot. They're similar to like some of these other kind of like Underground. They don't get a ton of figures, and then when something sells out, it sells out. You know, like Wrecker went immediately. Usually, if something goes waitlist at Sideshow, like Underground figures will be out same day. That's pretty much what ends up happening. Your figure says, did y'all see Collector Joey's moving on from his collection? Oh, that's funny. Figure Crafts is a great example for playing the long waiting game was the Mud Trooper from Solo. It was a hot item for a while, selling for $400 to $500, waited a few years and got it at a decent price, way lower than that. Yeah, it goes for under $3 now. You can get it under $3 relatively easily. Another one is D-Lo will tell you about this one. The Shore Trooper Captain, the OG Rogue One Shore Trooper Captain, which was like going for crazy money. And then like, yeah, I got mine really like a really low price. And Graham got his for a pretty decent price too. So, and now they're not really going for as nearly as much. So at some point it goes down. It's just, the only thing that sucks about this is like waiting a few years for some people, just not something they want to do. So, then you end up paying. Waiting a few years is a long time in this hobby. I feel like, you know what I mean? Granted, like I know people say, and you're patient because obviously a lot of this stuff takes a while to come out. There's patience, but then there's like ultra patience. Like, oh, this came out. The long game is a long game when it comes to this hobby. Like you are going to, I don't want to even think about right now waiting that long. And that's tough. That's really tough. Like if there's a figure right now that I really wanted that was going for like $600-700 and I'm like, man, I want this, but now I got to wait potentially like 2 years. Oh, I would probably be just like, I don't know. I would be hunting that thing down. I'd be hunting that thing. Like Tarkin Vader 2-pack was one I hunted for a year and finally got a good deal on. But I was just like always checking for it. Finally ended up getting a really good deal.
It happened to me too when I was looking for, because I bought the Jazz Inc. Falcon cockpit. And so I bought that and I was like, well, I need to get Han and Chewie now. And those ones have always been hot items, so it took me a while, but I was hunting and finally I got what I felt was a good deal. I got them separately, so I wasn't able to find one with the 2-pack, but I found them separately. And like one of them, I remember I even talked them down because the Han shirt was kind of yellowing.
Sure.
And I was like, can I talk? And I talked them down. So I was able to lower the price on that. And then with Chewie, I found him. It was so funny. I like telling people this story because it was someone's wife and she was selling his collection. And when we went to pick it up, me and a buddy went, the buddy I'm telling you, the 12 scale collector, we went to go pick him up. And when we got there, I was like, oh, so why is your husband selling his collection? And he's like, oh, he's just done with this. I was like, okay. He's like, you want it? And I was like, okay, cool. So she gave me a great deal on it. And so I feel bad for him, wherever he was. But someone was in the doghouse.
Doesn't sound like it was just, damn. Yeah, when she's answering the door and everything, calling the shots on that one. Yeah, damn, that sucks. But his loss is your gain. Well done. D-Lo says Sneaker loves to use my grill as an example. Yeah, the Shore Trooper Captain. Thanks for reminding me of my pain. You're welcome. You're welcome, bro. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Deals. It's tough, man. Navigating the hobby's tough, but it's a lot of fun. I will say there's more positives than negatives to it. That too. You know what I mean? You just got to keep yourself in check, be smart, and know the market. I always talk about that. Like,
yes,
it's really good to know the market. It's good for people to ask, how much is this figure worth, or hey, how much is this going for? It's good to try to like learn that stuff. But yeah, I try to know the market the best I can.
And we were talking about this earlier, but like when we're talking about being disciplined, like maybe if you know that, because we have those dry, droughts areas of the collecting, right? That there's nothing coming out or nothing that you particularly want, right? It's like what I would recommend is maybe maybe don't buy something else just to buy it, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
or don't go looking for it. You know what I mean? Like, don't go to Facebook Marketplace, don't go to OfferUp, don't go to, Craigslist or whatever, all these different sizes. You know what I mean? Don't try not to. The alternative I'll offer to collectors is reinvest in your current collection. So what does that mean? I don't know, like maybe new lighting, maybe display bases. There's great custom guys that make really great custom bases if you're into bases. Maybe a base that can bring it more to life. Or if bases are not your thing, maybe custom head sculpts. A lot of guys do custom head sculpts. Or I don't know, there's so much different things that you could add, or change the accessories of your figure. Sometimes even changing the pose can bring it back to life and bring you that same feeling of getting a new figure, because you kind of fall in love with it in a different way, right? Because sometimes the look can be so different, right? Well, head sculpt, no head sculpt, or doing a flying pose or just a regular museum pose, things like that can really liven your collection.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say. It's like maybe reinvest in your collection or add to it, right? In a way where you're just bettering your current collection versus spending on getting something new because you want something new and shiny now,
Yep. That's a good point. Freshen it up.
Marco's here to fact check me.
Here he is. You're gonna have to go back.
We haven't had no need to fact check. Now we haven't had a need to fact check. No, nothing to fact check tonight.
No, zero. You're wrong.
Anyone who's watching the replay, I know Ian, Agent Silver Fox, is like, I'm going to watch the replay and I want to see how much you fact check. But I haven't been able to fact check Ian. So if you're watching this, shout out to you. No fact checking yet, but if something comes up, I'll be on it.
Marco, thanks for stopping by, bro. You're gonna have to go back like an hour if you want to hear all the praise about yourself. Just FYI.
I know, man. It's, we got a little too much praise. I had to kind of bring you down, man.
We got the what is that? Was did I have Ben on? Was it he the person I had on last?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah, he was episode 19. I can't keep. I'm telling you, see, I just can't keep track. But, yeah, you and him both had a lot of praise and thanks to Marco himself. 1-6 fix. So there you go, Marco. Welcome. Okay. Random question. 1-6 Star Wars Pimbazoid. Any guesses on what this Dark Side line is going to be from Hot Toys? So I just posted like this thing on my Instagram today. Actually, there was a video, or not a video. There was a picture in like the Star Wars in some newsletter that showed like the Dark Side, and that it said on there like, this year we're celebrating Star Wars villains. So it seems like the line is going in the direction of villains, like basically straight up dark side villains. So, and they didn't say that specifically yet for Hot Toys, but that's like what the post said. And it said Star Wars Dark Side. It was a picture.
I saw
same type of lettering. Yeah. It's like the same graphic. So it's like we're celebrating the villains. Hopefully, I'm hopeful that means that it's just going to be, different villains from various. It said, I think it's like kind of across. They said like across eras or something. Yeah, eras. So I'm hoping like, I need, Asajj Ventress. That's why I know that's a really one that people really want. I want Savage Opress and Darth Revan are probably my two of my most wanted. Savage Opress is honestly probably my number one from Clone Wars. He would just be an incredible figure, but Asajj would be really cool. You have thoughts on this or what you'd want to see?
Man, there's so much they could do, and like if they're attacking all the eras, they could do so much. And then I feel like they might do 2.0s of different figures that are already released, like a Count Dooku. That's the first one that comes to mind. I feel like I've been quietly obsessing with Count Dooku like lately, and I think it started with the Tales of the Jedi episodes, and you kind of saw his perspective of what's happening with
Dooku.
So young Dooku and what was happening there, and Qui-Gon Jinn and how he took his death and all that, and kind of his story. So like if they did another Count Dooku, that's one I'd actually never picked up, so I'd love to get another Count Dooku.
Great figure.
So if that's one. And even if they could do a light side Count Dooku, because I know it
It
was
would
the
be cool to get a
animated, but
different
yeah.
variation of Count Dooku. I would love
Yeah,
to get
so
like a younger Count Dooku. Yeah, I could also I know like we talk about Maul, but like I could also see Hot Toys being like, oh, we're doing the Phantom Menace 25th anniversary. We're just gonna come out with a new Darth Maul for the Dark Side line. I could just see him doing something random. Nick says, watch them make one figure in this line and it's a white Darth Vader. Yeah, because there was talk about this line being like Lego has like this like there was like a leaked Lego box that showed like a white Darth Vader, an evil C-3PO, and like an evil Chewbacca. So there was thought about like this dark side line being like these good characters turning evil, like a what if type scenario. And like that's kind of how it was being like branded on this Lego box that was shown. So there was like rumor like, oh, this line is going to be like a what if thing, like, oh, a dark side Luke Skywalker or something like that. I hope they don't do that. I'd much rather just get more villains, because everybody always talks about like, oh, we don't get enough villains for different, Hot Toys doesn't do enough villains. If they just straight up do dark side villains, I'll be very happy. And Elizabeth says yes.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like it's a slimmer chance of this because I feel like they might not tackle sequel figures, but maybe a new Kylo Ren, maybe an updated one from The Force Awakens. A lot of people love that initial Force Awakens one, so I could see them tackling that. Or a Dark Side Rey. They never made the Rey.
Yeah.
Maybe they could do that. So
yeah. There's so many options, and that's another thing. Like, how many figures are they gonna do? That's it. Like, they have so many options. There's so many. And then they're talking about across all eras. So what is Hot Toys what are they gonna do? That's crazy. We'll see. But good question, Star Wars Pimpazoid. Good question. I'm like lost in the chat here. Marco says, oh wow, not used to praise, but GC keeping me humble. That's funny.
Go back an hour, you'll hear a bunch of it, but don't let it get to your head.
You should end your night by going back like an hour in the stream and then just going to sleep. You'll fall asleep happy. Sith Jar Jar, dude. Darth Jar Jar is I would love to have a custom Darth Jar Jar. I would love for them to do a Jar Jar figure.
Yeah, just in general.
Awesome. Yep. How you figure says Dark Side Rey is very possible. I think she would be a cool looking figure too, just based on like what she looked like in the movie. But yeah, I think I got all the comments. Christian Cooper says this FOMO's hitting me hard with this wrecker. Yeah. Okay, couple more questions. You got a little bit more time?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. What figure would you show someone to highlight your 1/6 scale collection?
Ooh, okay. Well, first and foremost, probably the Falcon cockpit. So I'd walk them to. I mean, it'd be hard because it's like right near, so they'd see these first. But if I could, like, if I show them pictures, probably the figures inside of the Falcon cockpit. That's probably the first thing I'd show them.
Yeah, nice.
And then from there, like anything that looks like spectacular, like the new Black Adam. Say whatever about the movie, but the new Black Adam, that's
him already.
Rock. Yeah, he's right here.
You really do get.
I'm telling you,
quick.
I'm trying to remember what Will called me. He had a nickname. Like I'm telling you, I got too many nicknames. I was like, ever since I started streaming, there's like 6 different nicknames.
That's
Jose
funny.
Plus, the Fact Checker. I don't even remember. There's so many, but it's just like it's hard to keep track sometimes.
What Black Adam? What one did you get? Did you get the cloaked one?
No, I got the golden armor.
Yeah, nice.
The golden armor. That's the one I got.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, man.
Yep. So it's probably the one that I'd show them. So except I feel like that's like and then obviously the Natalie Portman, the Padme. That's one I'd show them right off the bat. The Darth Vader, I have that one too. Darth Vader, with the lights on and everything. I mean that's a spectacular piece, man. It's like there's it's just so many that I feel like there's the in-art Joker. I have the sculpted version because of the paywall, right, of the whole having to buy the 2-pack. At that point I was like, I feel like sometimes I regret it because I'm like, but then I was like, well, what was I gonna do with 2 Joker figures? Like, I didn't really see the need for it, but I did want the rooted hair, but at the same time, I was also like a little cautious about rooted hair,
Sure.
So at that point I was like, do I want to get that? And I was like, or can I just go with the more affordable option and get the sculpted? I do like the sculpted, it's going to stay in place. So I ended up getting sculpted, but it's still a great piece. So that's one that I'd show them. Like, I know like a lot of my buddies love the Dark Knight trilogy, so I know I'd want to show them that.
That's a lot of different figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many, right? There's so many you could choose from.
Yeah.
Marcus says, wow, straight to the cockpit wouldn't even work up to it.
No.
It's funny. 16 Star Wars Pimzoy says, how about a proper General Grievous? He's talking about the Dark Side line. That would be very nice. Hot Toys could capitalize on a General Grievous. I agree. Dilo says, I feel like we'll get a What If style figure from this line, like, we want Dark Side. And that's another thing, like, they're saying, oh, we're celebrating the villains. What if that means to them, like, oh, we're going to do a What If style Dark Side because we're celebrating villains? You know what I mean? So this could take like just a complete 180 and they could do this. But Obi-Wan Dark Side would be cool. The goat.
Yeah.
The goat himself as a Dark Side. That would be a crazy.
Isn't there a rumor they might do like a What If series, but with Star Wars? I thought I heard something like that.
I think there was talk about that. That'd be cool. That would be cool. 16 Star Wars Pimzoid says, mine would be if you could showcase one thing, Jazzic Snowspeeder. It's huge and great. Pink could be better. Yeah, I've seen that thing. It's massive.
But it's like the
cool.
casual person, right? Your relative, your buddy, or whatever. They're not gonna be like, oh man, you know what? I love it, but the paint job on this one.
Yeah, they're probably not gonna be able to tell. We'll be able to tell. We'll be able to tell, but they're gonna not even be looking at that whatsoever. But yeah, cool, man. All right, we're down to the last one. Wow, look at that. Almost at the 2-hour mark already. Great show. How do you navigate collecting with your significant other? I always love asking people this question and getting the different responses. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, as I've mentioned a couple of times, and she's been in the chat making her own comments.
She's here,
but she's listening, Ross. I got to be careful, right? What I say. No, it's funny. One of the things I actually wrote it down because I was like, one of the things I wrote was she or he needs to be okay with it to a certain extent, right? Respect it to a certain extent, and if possible, be part of it. Now, I know that being part of it is hard because they might show zero interest in it, right? They'll be like, that's not for me, yada yada, right? But I think that if you could include them in some way, right? Like Marco does with Gigi, right? She not really her thing, right? But he includes her in a way where she feels like it's something that bonds them together, right? So if there's a way to connect them to that hobby, because they'll appreciate you being passionate about something, they might not like it, or they might not like that you spend all your time and all your money with it, but they'll at least respect it. And that's what you want to look for in a partner, right? You want to, because it's going to be hard right off the bat to initiate a conversation. Let's say you're in the dating world and you want to initiate the conversation in a way where you're like, oh, well, yeah, I got like 80 something 1/6 scale figures of all these characters and the Black Widow and blah blah. They might be like, that's a little weird.
In the Black Widow.
But I think if it's a situation where you form that relationship, and then you can be like, hey, well, this is something I'm passionate about and this is why, and you tell them what it means to you. Like, these are little pieces of art that have this significance because of what they invoked this feeling for me when I was watching that IP, right? And that's why I have this, or I really love that actor and their portrayal of that character, and that spoke to me. And look at it, look how it looks like, a piece of art. It's like when you go to a museum and you look at a piece, right? I feel like I always tend to bring aspects of museums I guess because of the museum poses, sure, and the way that people display their collections, kind of like a museum. So I feel like the same way, it's like you talk about it like a piece of art, like a portrait in the museum, and I feel like they'll learn to respect it. And if they don't, then at that point maybe they're not ever going to be on board. And if they're never going to be on board, then perhaps it's something that you're gonna have to maneuver if you want to be with that person, or maybe, or not.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be tough. I feel like it'd be really tough if like there's just no tolerance to it.
Yeah.
Like it would always be like, I feel like I would feel guilty to an extent. You know what I mean? Like I kind of already feel a little bit guilty to an extent, but then like, my wife is really supportive about it and stuff. So, but like you still like have that feeling. I couldn't imagine if it was like, well, I don't like that you do that at all, but basically go ahead. That'd be like, that would just be kind of crazy.
I feel like that's the common sentiment. Gigi's fact checking me here. She said incorrect. What am I incorrect about? Let me know.
Incorrect. She says incorrect. I love how Elizabeth.
I don't want to speak for her or Marco. Yes, she's still here. I don't want to speak for them. That's just like this is from the outside looking in. In terms of the relationship.
I also think. I mean, just like, like coming onto like a YouTube live, like just in the chat and saying something is just like pretty cool. Some significant others would never do that. You know what I mean? Just like that kind of like says a lot. They were just kind of being in the chat. I think that's cool. I do not support that, man. That's hilarious. Oh, Marco disappeared.
I know, right?
He's gone.
Yeah.
But no, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, man, you make a lot of great points. It'd be really, like I said, it would be really tough if there was just like I said, complete just hate that you do it. I feel like everybody who's pretty much come on the show has always like, for the most part, it's been like, supportive partner. And I feel like bottom line, if it's something you're passionate about and you're smart about it and, you have a partner that supports you, they're probably going to be okay with it. And I also talked about like, there's stuff that, my wife is into that I'm never really going to have interest in as much either, but I would 100% support that, whether that's whatever, things she likes to do, makeup and that type of stuff, she's really into cooking and has a bunch of cookbooks and stuff like that. Like that's fine. That's her passion. One of them is cooking. So it's just, I mean, that benefits me. So, I can't really hate on that one either way, because it benefits me a lot. So, but yeah, you got to think about it both ways too.
And I do something similar that Marco does, when he has Gigi look at the photos of the figures. So like, I'll send it to her, I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? Or how, like, what would you say? Like, does it look like that person? And she'll be like, sometimes I feel like she's a little highly critical about it. She's like, it looks nothing like them. I'm like, you can't say it looks nothing like them. You know what I mean? She's like, no, it's nothing. It doesn't look at all like that person. I'm like, and then sometimes she'll get like aggressive about it. She'll be like, you're not buying that. I'm like, whoa.
You're not getting it.
And I'm like, whoa, exactly. hold on. Yeah. Let's take a moment here. Maybe I want to buy it for this reason. Nope, doesn't look like that person. Why would you buy that? We had I think it was for the Supergirl, the Sasha Kaye one.
No, that's a good one.
Which for me is an important one. Because I was like, well, it's a Latina Supergirl, it's important for me,
sure.
The representation and all that. And I thought she was great in her limited role in the movie, so I was like, I want to get that figure. And she's like, it looks nothing like her, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. You can't buy that figure, blah, blah. And I was like, I want to get it though. And we still debate about it. And I showed her like the updated version and she's like, but
looks a little better.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. That's funny. I just always love it talking about this. Elizabeth says you support her by eating it. Yeah. You're right. I could say I'm not eating your food. She's an amazing cook. Like she's just like, she's incredible cook. So I would never, I never really complain. I'll give critiques here and there of like, oh, hey, like just simple things that she appreciates, she appreciates it.
She says her comments like she wasn't hot enough. The figure.
Oh yeah, talking about
the Sasha Kaye one.
And that's like an interesting figure too, because like just the limited role in the show, and then like James Gunn not bringing her back, so it's just like just crazy.
Which I think
I enjoyed her figure too, or I enjoyed her character too. I didn't the movie. I'm not real picky about movies, but the movie was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It was okay. But her moment, or her parts of the movie, I thought were pretty good. I thought she played the character well.
She had very brief moments, but I felt like it really stood out, and her performance was very nuanced. It was very like, I felt like it could be Henry's cousin in a way. You know what I mean? Even though she's Latina and he's British, but it still played well. You know?
Yep. Still worked out. Figure Craft says, I have so many figures my wife can't tell when I get a new one. Thank God. You've made it.
I think we've all pulled that one, right? Where it's like, is that new? Is that new? Or no, I've had that one for a while. You just didn't notice. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah. You never pay attention. See, you never pay attention when I'm talking to you about stuff and blah blah blah.
16 Star Wars Pimp says, do you think the Acolyte trailer is going to be good tomorrow? I'm gonna say yes. I am optimistic about the show. I think it's going to be good. I'm going to be the optimistic one and say yes. I think the show is going to pleasantly surprise people. There you go. There's my bold prediction.
I think it's going to be good, and I've seen the leaked one from like Celebration a year ago, and that looked pretty good. So if they kind of touch on that, or I think it should be.
Did you said you saw it?
There's a leaked one from Celebration, I think from last year.
Mm-hmm. Can you see? Oh, you froze for a second. Okay, I can see you on my end now. I don't know why I just froze randomly, but can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What did you say about Acolyte?
There was a leaked trailer from Celebration.
I saw it too.
Yeah. That looks good to me.
I wonder if it's going to be the same.
It might be. Maybe a few differences.
Yeah, they'll probably extend it, I would think, but I think the trailer, they're always good at making trailers look good. No matter what, too. You know what I mean? Like, they always just like make it seem like it's good, but we'll see. I'm excited for the show. I'm intrigued. It's got a lot of potential. It's really like a prime time that they could make so good if they really put in the effort of like, Fall of the High Republic and like Rise of the Sith. Like, they could make the poster for it. The poster was awesome. Like, I kind of want the poster to put in my basement. I love that, like the hilt with the blood. Oh, I thought that was so cool. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that means there's going to be blood in it. We'll see. But we'll see. I heard some like rumors about it potentially not like them having issues with the story and stuff. You always hear rumors. Rumors flying around, but we'll see. Dude, that's it. That's all we got.
Figure Craft he has a great comment there.
I hook up my UPS guy when there's a Hot Toys. He knows where to put it. There you go. Put it around the corner of the house. Oh, that's funny.
Leave it, get it, pick it up, put it in your trunk when they go to work, then take it out. There's all these tricks.
I kind of they're always at the front door. Because I also have a Google doorbell, so I like seeing when people drop off packages and make sure.
That's very cool. Yes.
Yeah, make sure it's all good. It's always nice seeing that. So, dude, great show, man. Look at that. Just over 2 hours. This is one of the longer ones, but it did take us no, it's not your fault. It's probably more my fault. It did take us like a half hour to get to the first question because chat was just so lively at the beginning of the show and all throughout the show. So, chat, thank you. Thank you as always, and for the people who have the 20 people who stuck around and are still in here, thank you so much. But Jose, do you want to talk a little bit about? I know we chatted a little bit backstage. Do you want to talk about kind of your plan and stuff that you have going on, and just kind of the shows you're on, and let the people know where they can find you at?
Yeah. Well, first you could always find me on Mondays with Shane. Again, a lot of appreciation to Shane. He's opened welcomed me onto his show and been very welcoming, and I feel like very much part of his show. So the Hope Show on Mondays, I think it's now 1 p.m. Pacific because of daylight savings time. So it's 1 p.m. Pacific. That would be what time Central? 3 maybe?
3 p.m. Central. Yep.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Central. So I'm usually always with them. And Ben, when he comes back with Let's Get Nuts on Sundays, usually I'm with him on Sundays. Big shout out to Ben. I love Ben. He's a great guy. Always been so nice and welcoming for his show, and it's always made me feel very much welcome. So I very much appreciate him. So whenever he comes back with his show, I always make an effort to be on with him. Nick, he's mentioning you can find me on 1-6 Wrestling. Might get a title shot.
You
No
might
way. Might.
get a title shot, bro.
Wow.
That's
And then
funny.
yeah, so I have my regular standard, personal page on Instagram, which you can definitely follow if you guys have. But that's usually what I post kind of when I'm doing, and things like that, when I go on vacation and things like that. And if you guys are interested in watching that, more the merrier. So definitely look at my personal page for that. But I have a collecting page that I'm trying to get started. I've been waiting on a buddy of mine to do, actually the 12 scale collector that I was telling you about. He's an artist. So I've been trying to talk to him about doing the logo. I've been trying to do an updated logo because the logo that I currently have was just kind of put together by me. And this is actually one of the other nicknames. At first, Mario was calling me Carlito from Carlito's Way from the Al Pacino movie. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Good movie. Dang.
And so that logo is actually the silhouette of Al Pacino. And that's I just put my name on it, and that's kind of what the logo is now. But I kind of wanted to using that same design kind of to update it, and I had asked my buddy about it. So hopefully he can get to it. But for now, I've already created the page, and I want to start posting my collection photos. I don't know if I will ever get to perhaps doing a channel, maybe one day. I don't think I'd be doing reviews and things like that, but maybe getting together with my friends and doing a stream here and there. Maybe that's something possible sometime in the future. Like I said, when we were talking about this backstage, but I never really saw myself as a YouTuber, right? And I don't really foresee myself completely in getting into the fold. Sure. But maybe. Yeah, I could never say never, And so for now, if you guys can, the Jose Plus Network, that's what I called it. You can go ahead and follow that. And I'm going to start posting photos very, very soon. So please take a look at it.
Here, I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me find it. There it is.
Yes.
Disappeared. There it is. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Boom.
Yes.
Now put it in the description below. I didn't put it in there because I didn't know what channel you wanted me to plug. I was waiting for you to save it. I'll drop it down and I'll put it in the description right after we're done. But yeah, go check out. You already have a bunch of followers on here.
Yeah, you know what? Because that page originally, and that's something I guess I didn't really get into, but originally I did a podcast with a buddy of mine.
Oh, nice.
And so that was our podcast page. But then things happened. He was doing other things. He said, I can't do the podcast anymore. And so I said, well, I'd like to use the page if that's okay with you. He said, sure, And so I just changed it up, re-upped it, rebooted it, and there we go.
Nice. Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Stacy says, remember Splurge Troopers. I'm going to think about this one, and I might put it up for a vote. I'm going to get maybe a couple different names and put it up for a vote, but I actually I don't know. I like this. It's just because it's not really a trooper name. Mm-hmm. And it's it kind of reminds me of saying Purge Trooper, but it's Splurge Trooper because you splurge in the hobby. It's just, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It has a nice ring to it. And it's got to be a trooper style. I feel like a trooper style thing is funny. So Stacy, thank you. I'm going to remember this one, and I'm going to strongly consider it. And then, like I said, maybe get a couple more and put it up to a vote for the channel members and let the people decide. But I really like this one. I'm definitely not going to forget it. Aaron says, great show, my guys, as always. Appreciate you tuning in, bro, and for sticking around. Brad, another great stream. Loki saying that was a dope one, fellas. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Calvin.
Aaron, Jose did not get banned. He did a great job. He did a great job. No,
he always wants to ban me. Why, man? What did I do to you?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Marco says he likes it. He likes Splurge Troopers for the for the Evil Empire members. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's funny. I'm gonna say, oh, Splurge Trooper in the house. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna think about it. But yeah, very cool. So thank you, Stacy. Jose, any final parting words?
No, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I
man.
was looking forward to this, man. I said at the beginning, I was a little nervous, but we got through it. Here we are.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, once you get going, it's really it's fun. I always have fun on the show. It's crazy. I always ask people the same questions, but all the answers are so different. It's been a really fun show. So thank you so much for being on. You guys can catch me in a couple nights. Wednesday, I'll be back over on the Jedi Knights Watch channel as always for Wolfpack Wednesday, and then depending on the announcements this week, we'll see what happens. Because last week was just kind of slow. There wasn't much going on. Hopefully we'll get some either releases or announcements this week. And then sometimes I just kind of play my live streams off of that. Long form content, waiting on my Batman, and then hopefully we'll review this Batmobile, the Jazzing Batmobile. But there's some other ideas I have in the pipeline, some long form videos, but the lives have been so fun lately. I've kind of just been doing so many lives that just long form content isn't like at the top part of my priority list. So that's what's coming in the pipeline. I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah. So thank you all so much. Chat, appreciate you guys. You guys were awesome as always. Thank you for I know those 18 people in who stuck around all the way to the end. Really appreciate you. Every Collector Tour episode, always being involved, and I love interacting with you all. So thank you all so much. And until next time, collect carefully, everyone.